Yeah. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Monday, the 11th of August. We have more fun before we go on the air than actually when we go on the air.
We can leave when it's
No, at any rate, welcome to Breakfast with Roger and Friends. Good morning, everybody on the internet. So happy to see all the bright, smiling faces, including Terry Chamberlain. Good morning.
Good morning.
And this other guy over here is another Terry.
Morning,
Terry
Roger.
Gray. John Meisinger is on assignment, so he will not be here this morning. It is still muggy, is it not?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Was I mean, did your windshield fog up a lot?
Yes, mine did.
Yeah.
I turned on the defroster
Yeah.
and played Jingle Bells.
It must be
And,
the humidity. What's
yeah.
about probably 90?
And the wipers to wipe it.
Yep. Yep.
And I shut it off because, why drive with the wipers on when it isn't raining? And within 5 minutes, it was back up.
Oh, yeah.
So I kept playing with the defroster
Turn
all
your
the way
lights on?
here. Yeah. What?
Did you turn your lights on?
All my lights always go on automatically.
Oh, because if you have your wipers on, you have to have your lights on. That's a law.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is a law. Having just taken
It
my
is a
test,
law.
I can attest
No
to
wonder
that.
I keep flunking my driver's test.
Yeah, that's a...
Which, you talk about elder abuse. The state of Illinois engaged, I don't know how it is in other states, but because of my age, I have to take a driver's test, a driver's test. I don't take the questionnaire. They just said,
to drive a car?
Yeah,
You have to drive a car with a
yes,
guy in it?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. And that's fine because I get well acquainted with the examiner. We went to Rockford one day.
guys are hanging
Yeah,
out
oh, it
now?
was a pleasant. She was very nice. She said, "Do you mind if we go to Rockford? I have to see my ex-husband." I said, "Sure, I'll go along with you. You paying for the gas?" She said, "No." And we just had a wonderful time.
Well, that's nice.
When we got to Rockford, she got out of the car and then come running back, and shots were fired, and
She
we
said,
got
"Hit
to
it."
Peoria very quickly.
see how
You have to have a vivid imagination to come up with it on the spur of the moment, and I think it has a lot to do with the medication I'm on. How are the two of you not worried, including people who listen to this show, that the medication that we take, some of it is from China?
Yes, I mean, I do
yeah.
worry about that.
Well, I
but,
do too.
But they got you over a barrel, really.
Yeah,
and
what are you going to do?
Yeah, if you got to take it, you
I'm
got to
not too
take
worried
it.
about it.
When did that expression begin?
What's that?
Got you over a barrel. I heard that in 1938 when I was 4.
Well, I know an old joke about that, but I don't think we can tell that.
But I do believe, because
right, the
I
barrel.
have dreams now that are so wild and crazy ever since I got on a certain medication.
Well, they say...
And I just wonder whether or not they're tinkering with me.
No, I
No?
think we'd have to ask Dr. Sidler, but I think there are some medications that will give you dreams, nightmares.
Some?
Have you? Yeah.
Oh,
some
yeah,
might
I have
things.
dreams, nightmares. Most of them make absolutely no sense. Like last night, somebody told me years ago what it means if you are able to fly. When I was a kid,
Oh, yeah.
I would have a dream that I could fly.
Oh, I did too when I was a
You're
kid.
sexually
Well,
frustrated.
what does that mean? What?
Sexual frustration.
At 10?
Well, I don't know about that, but no, or maybe that's... Maybe
No, that
that's-
was another pill you're taking. That's the one for your prostate. I heard someone last night on the news said so-and-so suffered from prostrate.
Prostrate.
And my dad used to say that too. I said, no, Dad, that's a position. It's not your gonads.
So you have nightmares? Explain one of those to us. Are they scary things or?
They're weird. You know, I don't know whether you call it nightmares. Nightmares, you wake up sweating, perspiring,
Well,
and I do that during the day. But
that just happens.
as a matter of fact, during the show. Yeah.
Are they scary?
No,
Do
they're
they
just
scare you?
no, they're just weird. Just
Oh,
weird.
okay. Well,
Like
it's not right.
I was going up in the air, and I was okay because I wasn't too high. If you find the expression, and I never, by the way, I have never taken any drugs of any side other than prescription drugs, weed, and that sort of thing. And you know why? Because I want to be in control. And you take that stuff, and you're not in control. At least that's what they tell me.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
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 I won't ask the panel if that's your own business, but no, I've never. So anyway, back to this dream, and I was okay, but suddenly I went higher, and I no longer had control of how high I was, and I kept getting higher, and I was worried because the people down below were worried.
Wow.
And
Could
then
you
I woke
steer?
up and then had to go pee.
Could you steer? Could you steer where you were, or you just kept
Yes.
going higher and higher?
Yes.
I guess it's better than going down.
Yes.
So you got that going
Yeah.
for you.
Hey, speaking
hotter
of
and
going
hotter.
for you, we'll get into the news here very quickly, but both of you went to a Taste of St. Mark's. Tell us about that. The highs and lows and the goodies and the not so goodies. Did you have a good time, Terry?
I did. I got there super early. I mean, like before,
What is super early? Right after church?
like 20 after 5.
Oh,
Okay.
before church got out.
But even before church got out, yeah. And so the beer tent wasn't open. The food didn't start till 6.
Oh, wow, you did get there early.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Would you help set up then, or what?
yeah. Get
No,
a discount.
I just stayed
then?
out of people's way. I did sit there and kind of watch things, and a nice little breeze. But boy, it was warm sitting out there.
Oh, I know.
And then, and they started serving. Oh, I guess maybe like 5 till 6. They said start.
Now,
serving
when you
food.
say serving, they made the food available. They didn't actually serve you, did they? Unless you went up to the different
oh, right,
vendors.
right. You
Right,
have to go to the booths
Okay,
and,
all right.
and get the food.
I thought maybe you sat there and then they came and
Oh,
you
no.
ordered.
No, you have
and
to go
this
get
was
it.
all outside, right?
All
That's
outside.
why I didn't go.
Yep. Yeah, I had some very good spring rolls, and I did try the street tacos. And I got lucky. The steak was just a little chewy, but the chicken one was very good.
Is it true horse meat is chewy?
Don't know.
Okay,
haven't,
you
don't know that
All
I've
right,
had it.
All right. I've had more than my share of chewy beef, I don't mind saying, so that's not unusual.
And then one family had it was drumstick that had been marinated, and then they grilled them, and the meat was so tender it literally just fell
Oh,
off.
you're kidding.
Fell off
Where
the
was
bone.
that from?
I
What vendor? Was it Pottstown?
no, it was a
It
family.
was a family.
Well, pardon me. I didn't mean to get
Well,
offensive.
I
Yeah, gee, bullshit. No, no, it's a family, right?
just
Idiot.
throat.
Yeah.
And they had it was a coconut-based drink. It was real pretty seafoam green color, and it had the pieces of coconut in it. It was very refreshing.
Have
It
booze?
sounds
Have booze
good.
in it?
No, that one did not have booze.
Okay.
And then I had a margarita when I found
Now
out where they were.
that's booze, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that was
Yeah.
booze,
got
yes.
booze.
How about you? What was your culinary experience as a super?
I
Chef?
didn't have a lot to eat. I got there late. I didn't get there like 6:30, 7 o'clock.
What time
No,
did it
was
start?
7:30.
Well, the food started serving at 6.
Yeah,
I
and
see.
it was about 7:30 before I got there, or maybe closer to 8. I
Well,
don't know.
you brought up the rear
I was
because
kinda
I
late,
am. I wonder if anything was left.
There was. I had some street tacos, and they had a lot. It was a big pan full, so they must have made some more right before I got there, because you said they were almost out, right? And I had the chicken. I asked them how
They prepared.
how do you prepare
Did you
that
seriously
chicken?
do
I
that?
did.
You know, we ate over the busy corner, and there was a table of older Americans. I work well with older Americans. We can relate to them. I said, "Have you tried the chicken?" And they said, "No." And I said, "Do you know how they prepare it?" And they said, "No, not really." I said, "They just tell him he's going to die," and they went,
I think that's funny. We've been able to work
I
that
thought
in
so too.
about once a week now
Yeah,
for about
no,
6 months.
I think twice a day. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so you had, what did you enjoy?
I had the chicken, the street taco, and it was good. amazingly enough, I thought I didn't know what those were, and I thought they actually made them in the street because it's been hot enough to do that.
Oh, well,
And
now,
I thought,
wait a minute.
and
now.
so I had this.
You really, yeah.
I had this misconception.
You,
So I
you
wasn't
have
really
that a lot
excited
about a lot of things, don't you?
I wasn't excited about trying it, but it was good. It was very tasty, and then a lot of the other food was gone by the time. But I'd eaten before I got
Yeah.
there.
How were the bands? There were 2 bands. Did you enjoy the music?
And the first one was really good. They weren't real loud, and they weren't real headbanging, the headbanging music.
Banging time of music, yeah.
And like, this is nice. And then it was funny because they kind of announced who they were playing, and it's like, well, no, I don't know any of these songs, so I don't listen to those bands. There was like Weezer
right.
and a couple other ones, and it's like, okay. But then they played Knocking on Heaven's Door, and
wow.
and both backing each other. We know this one.
Oh, that one. No, the other band. The band was my nephew, and his.
Well, you had
brother-in-law.
another reason for going then, didn't you?
I didn't know he was going to be there.
Oh,
I didn't know he was going to be there.
well, then you only had one reason. That was to enjoy some good
and
food.
I paid $20.
Well,
I-
you know,
Because I didn't
Kyle
wanna hear
got to
Kyle.
you, didn't he?
I
Yeah.
didn't want to hear.
Yeah, you feel if you only paid 15 and you want the people to
know.
pay 20, you were cheating them.
I know.
And I know your standards are very high. You want to please people.
That's right.
You're a people pleaser,
I'm
and
a
that's
people
nothing
pleaser.
wrong with being a PP. So you had a good
Oh,
time.
my. Yeah, it was nice. I saw Charlie Roy, who used to be the principal at Notre Dame. He's a fundraiser now at Bradley.
Well, I wonder where Charlie Roy. Now, I worked with a guy at Methodist Hospital a number of years ago. His name was Chuck Roy. I wonder if they were. Well, Roy is not exactly a
Well, that's
popular
true. But I don't
name.
think he was originally from this area.
Okay. Well, I think Chuck Roy. I don't know. I think he might have been from Elwood. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Charlie.
That's a
was
great name for radio or TV. And now in the news, here's Chuck Roy.
Chuck Roy. Yeah.
You know, that might be a good, because I struggle sometimes with Roy. Now, here's Terry
could
Roy.
change my name if
No,
you'd
Toy
like.
Roy. What's your middle name?
Allen.
Here's Terry Allen.
Yeah.
Al, what's new? You do look a little like Al Roker.
Oh, come on. Come on. The black guy?
Yeah. Well, I don't mean it from that standpoint.
You know, we're on TV.
So-
People can really see this.
Yeah,
We're
they
not
know
TV.
that you're not Al Roker,
Or,
yeah.
what's
Well,
that?
any other exciting things about, what'd you bring in, by the way? I like what
Well,
I
I
see.
tried to dress them up a little bit because last time you didn't like them because they looked like a turd. Or
Well,
whatever.
I
don't know if
wouldn't
can
know.
say
I
that.
didn't say that. You might have thought that.
No, you said that last time.
I did?
Yeah, you did.
Off the air, I
You
hope.
wouldn't touch
I
it last time.
No, I was talking about your dates.
That's what.
Are these what those
No,
are?
these are not dates. These are those energy balls, I think they call them.
Well, it's your culinary achievement.
But I followed somewhat of a recipe.
Hmm.
I just found what was there in the can. You got a new pair of glasses.
Oh, these are not.
No?
These are $1.25 from
Oh.
Dollar
Oh, I haven't
Dollar Tree.
Haven't seen those before.
Yeah. Well,
Those are just,
they're wonderful.
Those are just readers. That's all.
That's
you
all
have
they
to-
are.
That's all you
they
have
are.
to wear.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Well, you wear your goggles.
Oh yeah, these
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
When these were glass, they were.
The
they
Coke
were
bottle.
Really, really.
Yeah,
thick.
me
They
too.
finally went to the plastic, and they're progressives. You know that whole thing. But wow, you have.
Well, I'm not going to call you Mr. Magoo, but there is a resemblance.
There is a-
Yeah.
there is a reason.
I saw a pair like that at Pizza Ranch. You know where you put in 50 cents and you get a claw.
Oh, you have
and,
the claw.
Yeah, that's where I saw a pair like that. What color is that? Is that a kind of a burnt orange?
No, it's
Oh,
red.
it's red.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to
You
take.
are a little colorblind. It's very red.
Maybe I need to wear glasses 24/7. Hey, let's do what we do every morning: bring you the most comprehensive news in Peoria radio. Let's get at it, boys and girls, and we'll do it right now. And boy, do we have the news this morning, brought to you by our friends at Spoon River Home Health. They've been around since 1993, providing home health care by a great staff of nurses, therapists, and home care assistants. They're locally owned and operated, and I love that. Spoon River Home Health, they're available 24/7. Here's their phone number, 309-245-0723. Great people.
Yep. Mostly cloudy today, Roger, with a chance, it's just 30% chance for rain, showers, and thunderstorms. High 85. Rain tonight, low 72. Tomorrow, more rain along with some sunshine. That'll probably be a rainbow then. High 85. Wednesday, sunny 86. Thursday, 85. And Friday, 90 again. Saturday, 91. We'll get a live weather report from our exclusive meteorologist, Kyle Arnold, later this morning. Right now, it's a real wet,
muggy,
almost foggy-ish.
Foggy day in London.
Must be about 95% humidity or something. I'll look up the humidity.
I know the National Weather Bureau says patchy fog. Now, I don't know where the patch is. It wasn't in Morton or where I went. Did you see any fog?
Everywhere was hazy, though. It was hazy this morning.
Lazy, hazy days of summer. Sung by who?
Nat King Cole.
Nat King Cole. Exactly right. All right, let's get into the news sponsored by your hometown Community Banks division of Morton Community Bank. Whenever I hear that, there's a little reminder just around the corner is the Morton Pumpkin Festival.
In September.
Yeah. Convenient locations in Central Illinois serve you. Look for the clock tower, and they have time for you. Member FDIC. Here's Terry Lynn.
Fresh from ending the decades-long war between Armenia and Azerbaijan, President Trump will meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin this Friday in the hopes of reaching a peaceful settlement between Ukraine and Russia. The location has not yet been revealed for security reasons. Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky is not too happy he's not been invited. Fruitful discussions could involve the loss of some Ukrainian territory. Meanwhile, Russia launched several missile attacks into Ukraine, which injured 12 people.
A Russian source, without giving specifics, has suggested there are certain individuals and NATO countries seeking to torpedo the Trump-Putin summit. Arizona Democratic Senator Mark Kelly is the first to criticize the peace attempt by Trump. He called Putin a war criminal and should not be allowed in the United States. A little geography for Senator Kelly. Russia is just 55 miles from Alaska. Arizona is 3,610 miles from the 49th state, admitted in 1959.
Think he knows that?
Nope.
I don't either.
The president will hold a news conference this morning to talk about fighting crime with federal resources in the nation's capital. Though crime statistics indicate crime is down in the city, some high-profile news stories have caught Trump's attention. He wants the city to be safe, especially at night. The president also remains critical of the Federal Reserve's decision to spend $3.1 billion to renovate its home office building. As usual, he'll field questions from the media.
Democrat federal judge James Boasberg got legally slapped around by an appeals court for his contempt of court ruling against President Trump. Boasberg, who's made no secret of his contempt for Trump, ruled last April that the Trump administration was in contempt of his order to halt deportation of illegal and criminal immigrants to El Salvador. The D.C. Court of Appeals said Boasberg exceeded his authority. Department of Justice attorneys said the Democrat judge engaged in a clear case of judicial overreach.
Closer to home, police in Gibson City, Illinois, are searching for a 70-year-old man who shot 2 law enforcement officers early Saturday morning at his home. The gunman, David Jordan, opened fire on officers as they were investigating a report that a man, Jordan, was walking around naked 2:30 in the morning.
You're kidding.
Nope.
Well,
A Gibson City officer and a Ford County deputy sheriff were wounded, but not seriously, said officials. Jordan allegedly set fire to his house before he took off. He remains at large.
I read an article on that over the weekend because they had this guy's picture all over social media that, be on the lookout, for this guy because he could be in this area, be on the lookout, said what he had done. And at the end of the article, it said, he may be naked. And I thought, well, he's not going to be hard to find in a crowd.
No, he's going to stand out.
Yeah. Can you imagine, did they offer a description?
Well,
no.
not in very great detail, no.
Well,
In Peoria, firefighters were called to a fire early Saturday morning. In the 800 block of South Warren Street, the blaze, they said, was initially started on the second floor of the two-story vacant house. Damage was estimated at $70,000.
Wow. An apparent domestic dispute in rural Washburn, Illinois, ended with a man in critical condition and a woman under treatment for serious gunshot wounds. Police say the man shot himself with indications he did so after shooting his girlfriend.
Congratulations to Halston Williams of the Center for Prevention of Abuse. The Illinois Department of Aging has named Williams Adult Protective Services Advocate of the Year.
Oh, isn't that nice? You bet. We do have a report from Gibson City about the naked guy.
Oh, yeah.
Right, and let's get that report.
Okay.
Is there...
This is Miss Grundy, the lady I told you about from Standards and Practices, you know?
Say what?
The censor, remember?
Oh, listen, this man will take care of you. You know what to do.
I'll be watching Mr. Stevenson.
Hello, everyone. This is your Action News reporter with all the news that is news across the nation. On the scene at the supermarket. There seems to have been some disturbance here. Pardon me, sir. Did you see what happened?
Yeah, I did. I was just standing over there by the tomatoes, and here he come, running through the pole beans, through the fruits and veggies, naked as a jaybird.
That's it.
Ethel's over there in the jams, jellies, preserves, and pickles. I hollered over there. I said, "Don't look, Ethel!" She dropped a whole jar of kumquats and fell back into the sweet midget cider. Had us too late, she'd done been incensed.
Here he comes,
Boogie dad, boogie dad,
here he goes,
boogie dad, boogie dad.
and he ain't wearing no clothes.
Well, yes, they call him the street.
All right. Thanks, Ray Stevens reporting for us from Gibson City, Illinois. Now, when he took off, was he naked then? Or do we know?
Don't know if
They said they had a report that this guy was running around naked. It's like, what, 2:30 in the morning, 2 in the morning, something
2:30 in
like
the
that.
morning,
You know, he might have been having, the
may have been
kind
having
of
a
dreams
nightmare.
like I
Yeah,
have.
those nightmares. Where would he?
You know, I
where would
was
you put
wondering
a gun
because I
if you were
woke up
naked?
and I didn't have my pajamas on anymore, so maybe that sort of thing happens
Where would you- it's hard
without
to-
warning.
Hard to conceal a gun when you're naked.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I don't think it was concealed,
Well,
a weapon for that
no.
matter. All right, well, enough this time.
Salt
Let's
with a
get
friendly
really
weapon.
serious with news from our friends at WCBU.
From the WCBU Newsroom, I'm John Norton. Peoria City staff will present a report on the possible use of tiny homes to assist the community's unhoused population at this week's City Council meeting. City Manager Patrick Urick says such an effort would require a number of updates to existing regulations.
We would have to amend the building code to allow dwellings that would be less than 120 square feet in size, and then we'd have to change some of the zoning requirements to allow for what would be called transient lodging in certain zoning classifications.
Council members previously requested more information on the idea of tiny homes during a special policy session on homelessness. City staff has researched similar developments in other municipalities. Current Peoria building codes do not allow for this type of living unit. The Peoria County Board will vote this week on Liberty Steel and Wire's request for a loan that would enable the company to relocate its headquarters to the region. County Administrator Scott Sorrell says the company has asked for a $2.65 million loan from its Keystone Fund. That would be part of a larger capital improvement plan that includes a move from Texas to Bartonville.
Their direct and indirect economic impact in the Peoria region is $850 million a year. To see their corporate headquarters, regardless of the size, move to our community, it is a huge win.
Sorrell says Liberty also is seeking $25 million in state grant funding along with tax credits. One requirement of those credits is for the business to have its headquarters in Illinois. The county board meeting is Thursday. And rules for Washington Community High School students using their cell phones during the school day have been tweaked. The school board approved changes in the student handbook updating the cell phone policy. Students can only use their phones for instruction during class periods and only with the teacher's approval. Assistant Superintendent Karen Beverlin says the previous rule was more passive in giving teachers decision-making responsibility. Students can continue to use cell phones between classes and during lunch. Chance of showers through the day, otherwise cloudy and a high in the 80s. I'm John Norton, WCBU News.
Okay, thank you, Johnny, from WCVU. John Meisinger is not here today. As we said at the opening of the show, he's on assignment, so I have the honors to bring you up to date. And our sports news brought to you by BradleyFans.com. And we're going to start with the NFL football, and particularly the Chicago Bears. They were playing their first preseason exhibition game at Soldier Field yesterday against the Miami Dolphins. Did either one of you catch any of the game?
No.
All right, and that concludes our sports.
Did you?
Yes, I did. I watched much of it. The game ended in a 24-24 tie after, listen to this already, NFL officials failed to call an obvious pass interference play against Miami in the game's final minutes.
Well, did
I
they
threw
have
everything.
Did they have the rookie referees in there too?
All
the players were.
You know, that's a good question. Let's put it this way. They were not good officials. Although the referee, the guy who's really the captain of the officials, I think he had a lot of experience. Anyway, I can tell you if the Bear receiver had been assaulted that way on the streets of Chicago, he would have been arrested for assault and battery. But not in the NFL. Pass interference continues to be the most controversial calls in football, really at every level of play. And the biggest highlight of the game for the Bears was a 57-yard field goal by Cairo Santos to end the first half. Caleb Williams, the Chicago Star quarterback, did not play. If you were looking for something to get excited about for the coming regular season, sports fans, Bear fans, it wasn't there yesterday afternoon. The Bears next play Buffalo. Now the scores from the NFL of interest: Baltimore 24, Indianapolis 16. Philadelphia over Cincinnati 34-27. Detroit, the team that will win the Central Division, in my opinion, edged Atlanta 17-10. The Giants beat the Bills 34-25. Minnesota over Texas 20-10. The Cowboys lost to the Rams 31-21. And in case you missed it, the Arizona Cardinals defeated the Kansas City Chiefs 20-17, and the Green Bay Packers were thumped big time by the New York Jets, the final 30-10. Let's turn to baseball. The Chicago Cubs are struggling offensively and in the pitching department, while the Central Division Milwaukee Brewers are hotter than the 4th of July sparkler. Going into action last night against the Cardinals, the Cubs were trailing Milwaukee by 5.5 games. St. Louis is out of it at 14.5 behind. The Cubs trailed 2-0 until Matt Shaw for Chicago hit a 2-run homer. The four-bagger equaled the homer by Pedro Pajes of St. Louis. And as it turns out, St. Louis edged the Cubs 3-2. And the Cardinals, therefore, won 2 of the 3-game series. In other Major League scores of local interest, Houston beat the Yankees 7-1. The White Sox over Cleveland 6-4. Milwaukee came from behind to beat the Mets, so they lengthened their lead. They beat the Mets 7-6. The Phillies over the Rangers 4-2, and Toronto 5, the Dodgers 4. In golf, did you watch any of the golf? No, I didn't either. Boy, we have some real hot sports fans in the studio this morning. It was an exciting finish to the FedEx St. Jude Championship in Memphis, Tennessee yesterday. Justin Rose defeated J.J. Spawn, winning on the third playoff hole. It was a tough loss for Tommy Fleetwood, who led most of the way until falling behind on the back nine Sunday afternoon. Rose won. You want to guess how much he won? The guy who won the tournament, how much? In the millions, sports fans.
For golf?
Yes.
14 million.
Oh, no, that's way too high.
I'll say 3.1 million.
3.6 million.
Wow.
But don't feel too sorry for Fleetwood. He finished in a tie for third place, winning $1.16 million. Now back to baseball. If you were watching the Cardinal Cub games Saturday night, you saw a young but rising future Major League umpire. 13-year-old Bradley Vinson. If you haven't seen it, get on YouTube or something. This kid was amazing. He was dressed in black, wearing all of the clothes and garb and uniform and attire of a baseball umpire. He had the mask He had everything. I mean, I don't think he had a chest protector. And he was calling balls and strikes from the stands. He was in the stairs area. He wasn't sitting in the chair seats. And he was calling balls and strikes out in safe place from the stands to the delight of fans at the game and on television. The kid was a star and outstanding in his physical reactions, just like the umpire behind the plate. And he would, like, when somebody hit a home run, and he did the, circle of rounding the bases like it was a home run. And when a player struck out, he had the action. It was wonderful.
Was he accurate?
Oh, yeah, on everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
Good for him.
he and his father drove from their home in Jupiter, Florida for the 3-game series in St. Louis.
Wow.
And I'm not sure if he did it at all 3 games, but there he was Saturday night. And even the announcers were, the camera was on the kid quite a bit. And when there was a pop-up, he would take his mask off just like the home plate umpire did.
13-year-old kid.
13-year-old kid. And when he put it on just like the umpires do. And it was, and every now and then he would, regularly would hold up his fingers, and then when it was time for the pitcher, the batter stepping out, he would put his hand up in the air, and then he would go. It was absolutely, if you get a chance,
Another Stars
look it
born.
up.
check it out.
It'd
Yeah,
be all over social media, probably, right?
yeah.
And
It was.
They get a major.
Remember the name Bradley Benson, and he wants to be. He's in training for.
To be an umpire.
To be a major league umpire, and he'll be very good. Well, that's sports, everybody, and let's do what we do at the bottom of the hour, is bring you up to date with the news and the weather. And the news brought to you by Advanced Medical Transport of Central Illinois. Since 1991, the folks there have been looking after people, saving lives with paramedics and EMTs. And keep this in mind when seconds count. Count on Advanced Medical Transport of Central Illinois. When it comes to news, most comprehensive news brought to you with Terry Chamberlain.
Well, after the ending the decades-long war between Armenia and Azerbaijan, President Trump will meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin this Friday in the hopes of reaching a peaceful settlement between Ukraine and Russia. The location has not yet been revealed for security reasons. Meanwhile, Russia launched several missile attacks into Ukraine, which injured 12 people. Doesn't that take guts? I mean, you know you've got a peace summit in the offing,
Yeah.
and yet you're still shooting missiles. I just,
Yeah.
all of this guy.
Well, that's why people don't like him, why he's hated is, he was for many years a part of the Secret Service of Russia. In other words, he was a spook, a sneak, a liar.
Oh, yeah, he's a
cheat.
terrible
Other than
person.
that, he's not a bad guy.
Yeah, other than that. A Russian source has suggested there are certain individuals and NATO countries seeking to torpedo the Trump-Putin summit. Arizona Democrat Senator Mark Kelly is the first to criticize the peace attempt by Trump. He called Putin a war criminal who should not be allowed in the United States. The president will hold a news conference this morning to talk about fighting crime with federal resources in the nation's capital. Though crime statistics indicate crime is down in the city, some high-profile news stories have caught Trump's attention. He wants the city to be safe, especially at night. The president also remains critical of the Federal Reserve's decision to spend $3.1 billion to renovate its home office building.
Yeah, he can't get over that, can
No,
he?
he
I mean,
can't. He won't
kind of
let
let
it
Jerome Powell have it, And that is a lot of money for refurbishing a building.
Mm-hmm.
You know what they need to do is maybe follow the lead of Peoria, have these tiny homes.
A whole bunch of tiny homes. There you go. As usual, he'll field questions from the media. Democrat federal judge James Boasberg was reversed by an appeals court for his contempt of court ruling against President Trump. Boasberg, who's made no secret of his contempt for Trump, ruled last April that the Trump administration was in contempt of his order to halt deportation of illegal and criminal immigrants to El Salvador prisons. The D.C. Court of Appeals said Boasberg exceeded his authority. Police in Gibson City, Illinois are searching for a 70-year-old man who shot 2 law enforcement officers early Saturday morning at his home. The gunman, David Jordan, opened fire on officers as they were investigating a report that a man, Jordan, was walking around naked at 2:30 in the morning. A Gibson City officer and a Ford County deputy sheriff were wounded, but not seriously, said officials. Jordan allegedly set fire to his house before he took off. He remains at large.
Really?
Yeah, imagine that. Peoria firefighters.
There is a funny line there, but I don't
not
want
going
you
there.
go there.
Yeah,
Okay,
don't
Terry,
go
yeah.
I am not going there. As long as he remains at large, I'm
No,
going to stay away.
as long as it didn't say it's small.
You got it?
Yeah, just had to do it, didn't you, Roger? In other news,
Another news. Peoria firefighters were called to a fire early Saturday morning in the 800 block of South Warren Street. The blaze, they said, was intentionally started on the second floor of the 2-story vacant house. Damage estimated at $70,000. An apparent domestic dispute in rural Washburn, Illinois, ended with a man in critical condition and a woman under treatment for serious gunshot wounds. Police say the man shot himself, with indications he did so after shooting his girlfriend. And we extend our congratulations to Halston Williams of the Center for Prevention of Abuse. The Illinois Department of Aging has named Williams Adult Protective Services Advocate of the Year. And those are the headlines, Roger.
all right, how about a check of the weather brought to you by who else? Mr. Weather, Kyle Varno of Fortner Insurance. He's a professional. He can review your portfolio of coverage for home, auto, life, and health to make sure you're getting the right coverage for the right amount of money. You can get more information from Kyle at 309-682-0519.
Slight chance of rain today and tonight, 85 today, 72 tonight. Maybe a little bit of rain tomorrow, 85 for a high. Wednesday, sunny and 86 right now. It's just 72 at the wazoo.
Well, there you have it, boys and girls. News and weather at the bottom of the hour. You know, just a little personal note, I'm a little offended. Not once did either one of you say, Roger, what did you do over the weekend? And I know you don't like me, but it would be, you know, for people.
You know why?
I just got a note from somebody said,
sorry.
Roger, what did you do over the weekend? We would like to know. You asked the other two, and
so
I
sorry.
said, thanks, Kathy, for asking that.
I'm so sorry, Roger. We talked about it off the air, and it was all you said was nothing. So I guess it just wasn't exciting to ask
Now
while
you
we were
made,
on the air.
now you made that up.
I did. Roger.
Actually, the reason,
Hey, Raj. Hey, Raj.
What'd you do this weekend?
Yeah, I'm interested too, Raj. What the heck did you do this weekend?
nothing.
Oh, there you go.
You know, it was almost like rehearsed that, but we did. Actually, the reason I bring it up, went to Eastside Bible Church, which is Catholic church, and to our surprise, they had a Southern gospel, I guess, she'll correct me if I'm wrong,
Oh, singers?
singers, and they were wonderful, called the Wanda Mountain Boys. And I don't know about you, but I love quartets. And
That's
they
four,
were,
right?
pardon?
That's four? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll let you know when the trio comes so you can say, was that 3 and maybe a duet. And so we get the numbers. But I don't know if there's more than 4. What do you call them?
A quintet.
Well, what if it's more than 5? A sextet?
Sextet.
A group.
Yeah. And they were wonderful. And I left a CD in the car that I bought after the performance. They sang a song. His name was he was more than just a name on the wall. And a very moving song, the lyrics. And we looked it up, and again, I probably need to get on Prevagen. I forget the name. Fortune. Jimmy Fortune.
Jimmy Fortune. Oh, from the Stellar Brothers.
Yes, exactly. Very good. Thank you. Jimmy Fortune wrote the lyrics to the song.
Oh, cool.
And it is a cool song. We'll have to
Maybe I'll
play
have to
that
run
later
down
this
during-
week. Yeah.
during the
Pardon?
sport. Well, I could run down during the WCBU
during
news
sports, during
and
the
pick
boring
it
You
up.
could run down. I couldn't
I
run
said
down.
I would
no,
run
No, I
down.
know.
Yeah,
I'm
go-
giving you that due credit.
Go during the boring part of the show.
Okay, I
Go
will.
during sports.
Bye.
Okay.
Well, I didn't.
Well, here we go now twice. First of all, you ignore me by omission, and then you insult me by commission. What's left? Elimination.
Elimination.
For that matter. Any rate, it was a wonderful concert, and they were nice guys. You know, after the concert, they hawked their CDs and T-shirts and books and all kinds of things. And, you know, it reminds me of the time that Royce would give a concert, particularly down in Branson, and after it was kind of like at halftime, intermission, then he went over to his table and would sell his wares. And he said it never failed. There was always some guy that would ruin it for him because there always is some guy said, here's a couple of jokes that you can use. And they start telling, and he wanted the guy in this particular case he was talking about to move on because there were several people waiting to buy a CDs or book or whatever the case may be. And he said it was the hardest thing in the world because their intentions were honorable, but he didn't have time to listen to them telling jokes.
That back of the room sales, that's important for entertainers. They make a lot of money on that.
Yeah. He had a
Back of
case
the room sales.
where he and his agent, Billy Dentino, and Billy and, of course, Royce, both have since passed away, so I have no hesitation to tell you the story, but Royce was part of a program in Detroit where they had thousands of people. And after he performed, he said he had a huge line of people wanting to buy CDs and or his books. And they totally sold out everything and turned away, he said, maybe 50, 60 people standing in line, something. And on the way back, he really let Billy have it. How could you run out? Well, I didn't think you'd sell very many. He said, wasn't that a decision for me to make, for that matter? And you're right, because he figured he may have lost $1,000, $2,000 in
Back room
sales.
is huge when you're an entertainer.
Now, as a professional, do you have knickknacks that you
I
sell?
don't have any back the room sales. No, because I don't.
Have you thought about it? You know, you can,
don't
you know, why don't you write a book? You too can be hypnotized. That would be a big seller.
No,
And you could have drawings, or actually,
I don't
Terry, would you be willing to be hypnotized? So I'll take the pictures. And you hypnotize her.
No.
And then you could have scenes of her hopping around like a rabbit.
No,
You are now a rabbit, and I'll take a picture of her.
And we'll sell that to people?
Yeah.
No,
Oh, people would love to see her walking around like a rabbit.
I don't.
Do you have any animals that you turn people into?
No,
Or
I've never
animals you
made
turn
anybody
them
cluck like a chicken. Everybody
and-
says hypnotists do that, and I've never.
You've never done it.
I've
How
never-
about a turkey?
Yeah, I've done that. No,
Yeah, that was a higher scale. Your standards are higher.
Yeah.
Chickens for the
It's
for
good
the
to be
peanuts.
good to
yeah,
do
yeah.
a turkey. Chickens.
But
are
have you thought, you know, everybody's writing a book. If you're on Fox News, pretty soon you're going to write a book. Everybody on Fox has a book.
You should be that guy. All the stuff that you've done in your life.
Nobody's interested in my life. I'm not even interested in it.
Well, just because we didn't ask you what you did, we are interested, and I think it'd be a good.
Oh,
book.
you're trying to make amends.
I'm trying to kiss up now.
Yeah. And by the way, it's working.
But no, because you've done a
Thank you.
lot here
Yes.
in town. You've known everybody for criminy sakes, and you were a public servant for how many years were you a public servant?
22 on the
22,
county board, yeah.
jeez.
But before that, I served on the Housing Board of Appeals and the Zoning Board of Appeals
See,
for the
and I
city
bet
of
you've got
Peoria.
some great stories.
And I had was on the board of the City County Health Department. And you know, when you serve in that capacity, recognize that you're going to make a lot of enemies. This show we've made, not you folks, we've
No.
made some people. I've got some nasty. I had one. You remember the
Oh,
a guy
yeah.
sent me an illustrated picture, and you know what they do? They think they're being real clever. It works okay. They give fictitious return addresses on the envelope. I have a suspicion as to who it was.
Well, we know
but-
who it was.
But yeah, I recognize your handwriting.
We're
as a
going
matter
to
of
send
fact.
somebody over at the house later.
Yeah. Can you, when you hypnotize someone, I'm going to go back to your profession.
Okay.
When you hypnotize someone, can you make someone who is a bad handwriter into a good handwriter?
No, I don't know specifically.
never tried it?
No, 'cause I don't do the therapy stuff.
Do you do when you do your show? Do you and you take people from the audience like Terry Chamberlain, come in and sign in, please, and they write on the.
No, we
what
keep-
show was that?
What's my line?
What's my line?
With come in, sign in. It was with
Oh, I don't remember that. I didn't-
what was his name? Cundiff
well, there was
or-
Gary Moore and Bill Cullen.
Bill Cullen.
Bill
Bill
Cullen,
Cullen
yeah.
did that
Bill
one?
Cullen was
Okay.
What's My Line, I believe it was. And you have a famous person come in.
Somebody
They,
signed
they
on.
blindfold. What was that guy's Emmett Key or
Didn't they blindfold the panel?
yes.
Or else they had him behind a wall, and he or she answered questions that they asked.
Bennett Cerf.
Bennett Cerf was one, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Was that the one Kitty Carlisle was on, or was
Kitty
she on to
Carlisle,
tell?
Bennett Cerf.
to tell
No,
the
no,
truth?
that's the same show, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow, that's
Yeah,
going
well, that
back.
was a good show. I still like, what was the Groucho Marx?
You Bet Your
You
Life.
Bet Your Wife.
You
Life.
Bet Your
Life.
The wife cost more.
Yeah. Come in and be seated, please.
What was your favorite game show? Were you a game show watcher? Did you watch game shows?
I can say, back in those days, you didn't have 100 million different channels
No, you
like
only
we
had
have
3,
today.
yeah.
So there wasn't a lot to choose from. My favorite, boy, I don't know, throw out some names. And
Price is Right.
I like the Newlywed
Password.
Game. Was it
I liked Password, Hollywood Squares, and the original Match Game. with
Hollywood
Gene Rayburn.
Squares?
The original what?
The Match Game with Gene Rayburn,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I think I remember that. Yeah.
and then Hollywood Squares, of course, with Peter Marshall.
Oh, yeah.
Is-
And who was the guy, the funny?
Paul Lynde
Paul
was
Lynde.
always a center square.
Very funny.
He
Yes.
was.
Do you think he got those answers beforehand to kind of come up?
I-
Because his ad libs
He
were
was a
pretty quick.
he was a riot.
I think
he's
that they
funny.
briefed a little bit on here's the possible questions that you
So
could get.
because he came up with some pretty good stuff right away.
He did.
You don't think he was that witty? I think he was pretty
I
witty.
think he
I
was
think
witty,
it's very witty.
But I think they're briefed a little bit on
Yeah.
here's what you might expect.
Yeah, that's part of the show.
We tried this, but we had rehearsals at 4:30 this morning. I was the only one here,
Nobody came.
and nobody came. I said, "Well, I guess I'm on my own."
You gotta have those like noon.
Hey, tell me about your treat. I'd like to try one this morning.
They're a little dry. I just noticed that because there's really not a big super recipe for those.
Well,
It's just
describe it.
been what I
So,
had. Well, I know I put
you
in some. I know there's some walnuts in there, and there's a lot of peanut butter, but it's a healthy peanut butter. It was a real liquidy, real viscous peanut butter. I didn't, but they're a little dry. Some cinnamon. I put in some cinnamon.
they're
and
good.
That's kind of what made it a little
They're
dry.
that's pretty
Walnuts. Did I say that?
good. Here, let me help you.
Yeah.
Oh, you already do.
Yeah, they're not bad. They're the good part is they're kind of sweet. There's a lot of honey. They're kind of sweet a little bit, but they're healthy. It's not a lot of fake stuff, and there's no sugar in there except what was in the peanut butter, which is very little,
And the honey.
and the honey. Yeah, the honey.
Now, what kind of peanut butter?
I can't remember. It was
Jiffy?
something new. It was something new my wife bought because it was some kind of a healthy one, but it was very runny. It was
Runny.
yeah, really viscous. It wasn't.
That means it's old.
No, it's just it's I don't know. It's some healthy peanut butter. I don't know what the heck it is. Those all right? A little dry? No.
No, I think it's not bad. I think you have a winner here.
Oh well, okay. They look. They're more presentable than what I had last week.
Well, I'll go along with that. Speaking of street tacos,
Yeah, those things they looked a little weird.
Speaking of tacos,
Yeah.
when I was, it's been about 1983, I guess, a friend and I went down to visit my friend who was in the Air Force in Los Alamos,
Oh, really?
New Mexico.
Oh, the
Well, after
Area 51?
No, Alamogordo was actually where he was stationed. So
That's
anyway,
where the nuclear stuff is, isn't it?
I think so.
Isn't that where Les
and that's where it
Bergson
was
worked
sent-
at
yeah.
one time? Or
Yep.
did some work?
so anyway, so we go down to visit him, and so we took a day and we drove down to El Paso and went across the border to Ciudad Juarez in Mexico. So we had, oh gosh, there was Jim and his friend, Lori, me. There were probably about 5 or 6 of us. So we go in, and now they had done this a lot. So they get us straight to this little bar. It's, okay, it's safe to drink here, and all that.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there drinking margaritas, and Jim said, okay, let me go get some tacos. So he goes, disappears for a while, comes back with his little brown paper bag, and it's got 10 little tacos in it. And it was strictly meat, onions, and the taco. That was it. Nothing fancy. But they were really good.
Really?
So, of course, we went through those in no time. He said, go get some more. So he goes down, comes back. Said, I want a third trip. I said, I'll go with you. No. Well, yeah, come on, I'm going to go with you. He said, no. He said, you do not want to see where I'm getting these.
That bad?
Apparently. He said, no, it'll ruin your enjoyment. He goes, just sit here, enjoy it, but you're not coming with me to see where I'm getting them.
So what happened after? Did you go to the KO Picnic Festival?
No.
Where everything was run?
No, actually, we did not. We didn't get sick or anything. And like I say, it was a pretty Americanized bar. They were used to people coming over the border. So the ice and the margaritas was fine.
Well, the
We didn't
tequila
have to-
kind of kills a lot of that.
That takes care of a lot, too. I think the tequila probably had a lot with why we were enjoying the tacos. But so every time people say street tacos, I can't help but think of that I don't know.
bad experience,
I don't even know
yeah.
if you were eating, I can say, are these dog or what?
Making it in the street.
And he's like, you don't want to know?
don't
Just
wanna know."
shut up and eat them. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
I had a similar experience that I've mentioned that when I was on the way back rotating to the States, the troop ship docked at Southampton. I said, be back tomorrow by 4 o'clock. If you don't make it, you're stranded here. So you want to make sure that you're back. So I had met this young lady on Holiday on Ice in West Berlin, and I called her and I said, hey, Evelyn, are you available? I'm here for, I don't know how I got hold of her, but at any rate, we got together, had a nice evening, and she went home, and I started walking the streets to find a place to stay all night. And it was like 1 in the morning, and every place in the area, because it was near the airport, so they had homes that, anyway, some guy felt sorry. He said, we're totally booked, but he said, you can sleep on the couch. And it was cold, it was damp, it was just, because it was in October, late October. At any rate, so he said, I'll wake you up in the morning before the guests get up, which consists of flight attendants and pilots at this house. And he said, come on downstairs and I'll make you breakfast. They had cobwebs hanging from the basement ceiling, and it was like a page out of a Halloween mystery novel.
Sounds like the Monsters Dungeon, Grandpa
Yeah,
Grant's Dungeon.
exactly right.
Oh.
And he said, if the guests could see where I'm making their breakfast, they wouldn't eat it. And I said, I understand that. But he made me a neat breakfast, a couple of eggs and bacon and toast, and I ate that, and then he told me to get on my way because he didn't want.
You know, they say that about a lot of restaurants. If you ever go back in some of the kitchens, you'd never eat there.
Yeah.
I won't mention anything locally. But
Oh, go ahead. You can mention
No,
a couple
no,
others.
no.
72 degrees currently. It's going to be a cloudy and wet day today. In the meantime, how about our pet tip of the day?
Today's pet tip is brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets large and small 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles and of course cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little-known, somewhat amazing facts about your pet. When you come home and find evidence of something chewed or destroyed by your pet, some trainers say you can try disciplining after the fact if you have the proof. But you must not react to the proof until you get the dog to the damage. In other words, don't explode into the house and scream and whine at your dog. The dog will simply run away and you will think you have corrected the problem. You have not. Instead, say nothing, go calmly to the dog and bring him to the damage. Show the dog the proof and in a low growling voice with few words, let him know that this is not acceptable, such as, "Bad boy, grrr." Then release him and do not pet, coo, or give attention to him for 3 minutes, but no longer. You are imitating the actions of a mother dog, and your pup should quickly and easily understand this sound and action. When you are cleaning up the mess, do not let your dog see you doing so. Your body language will look submissive to the dog as you kneel and scrape or scrub, and that won't win you any brownie points in the dog's eyes. Remember, keep your cool when disciplining. No screaming, no hysterics. This is correction time, and your growling should last no more than 3 seconds. So the next time your pup presents you with a problem, try this and see how it works for both of you. This whisker of information has been made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting in partnership with Spot, Saving Pets One at a Time, and KSBR Studios. Produced by Joseph C. McGuire and theme music by Stuardo Glasser.
Today's Pet Tip has been brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at PeoriaPetCrematory.com.
Thank you, Louis Linder. As always, outstanding report about our pet, particularly during this hot and humid weather. My dog, Scottish Terrier, has put on some weight. I've entered him in Weight Watchers, but he won't eat any of the food because his big problem is he can't count.
That's your
calories.
fault. You're the one.
Oh, I know it. That's right.
Or does he cook?
No.
Do you know how to open cans?
He opens a lot of things, as a matter of fact, none of which. But this kind of weather, he's a house dog, and I think people know if a pet is a house dog. Some people leave their dogs outside. I remember there was a family in I won't say what town it is, but when I go to visit my son and his family in this town, I drive by this house in the winter, snow on the ground, and it's on a chain. Yeah.
What's a husky? Is it a sled dog?
It was a big dog, and it acted like it was mean. And, put a chain around you and tie you to your house. You would get a little on the mean side. I wanted so bad to call the Tazewell Paws agency or whatever and said, I think you need to look into this. But you know what? I never did. And I felt sorry for the dog. I wanted to go over and pet the dog, but I didn't want to wind up being called Lefty as a result of it. Well, I know you have cats. Do you have dogs at your place?
Not anymore.
What happened?
Well, they died.
Well, I had a number of dogs that died, and I right away went out and got a dog.
We had 3. At the last time we had dogs, we had 3.
3 at one time?
Yeah, and that was a
lot.
Well,
that is a lot.
That was a lot. And
so you went from 3 to 0?
Yeah.
Is it because tell us what motivated you to get mean?
No. They were two of them were basically my wife's. They were little. In my opinion, if you have to bend over to pet a dog, it's really not a real dog.
Well, why don't she get a horse then?
She had well, no, that's too big. But she had
then a pony. There are different size animals. How about an alligator?
No, you have to bend over to an alligator.
No, you don't.
But anyway,
he'll reach you.
Yes. She had one inherited from a daughter, and then she brought one home from a senior pet thing, and they were okay dogs. I had a German Shepherd,
Oh, I had
Very
a
well
German
behaved,
Shepherd, yeah.
and they all.
Mean looking, but he was very.
This one
he
was all
friendly.
black. It was all
Ooh,
black German Shepherd. So.
Probably gorgeous.
But a great dog. A couple of them got cancer and died. The other one was old age, and then my wife wanted another one. I said, you know what? I'm getting to this age where.
So you overruled her.
Well, no, I didn't.
Oh,
I
okay.
said, you know what? If I wanted one, I'd get one. If you want one, you get one.
Hey, I like that.
However,
Good. Oh, here comes the however.
If we're out some evening and you say, "Oh, we got to get home
Oh,
and let
yeah,
the dog
yeah.
out," you have to get home and let the dog out, not
Yeah,
me.
I've been
Because
there,
I don't
done
wanna-
that, yeah.
I think
I understand that.
It's a big. Well, you're tied to your house. I know,
Well, I wouldn't say tied,
well, no, but I-
close to it.
I know you like to go out and party and dance,
Oh,
but
yeah.
sometimes you can't go because you got to stay home with the animals. Same. Well, the cats
Yeah,
are a little
you're
bit
right.
easier.
You have a little bit more
You put out a box of sand and some food, they're fine for 3-4
Yeah.
weeks. But
Maybe 3 days.
well, yeah, okay.
I
That might be
don't know about that.
stretching.
Hey, news, weather, sports coming up next on Breakfast with Roger and Friends. The two Terrys are here, Terry Lynn and Terry Raleigh. We're so happy to see you on YouTube. You can join us by going to breakfastwithrogerandfriends.com and click on Watch Live, and we're there. And we're also on WAZU FM 90.7. Stay tuned. Happy you could join us. It's a muggy day. We'll give you all the details on the weather coming up. And a pleasant good morning, everybody. It is Monday, the 11th of August, and we begin with a check of the weather brought to you by certified public accountant and tax specialist. Guess who? Matt Wall. He's with Gordon Stockman Wall. Matt offers a wide range of specialized services. You can learn more from Matt, the CPA with over 40 years of experience. His phone number 309-692-4030.
Mostly cloudy, good chance, 30% chance for rain today. Showers and thunderstorms, high 85, rain tonight, low 72. Tomorrow, more rain along with some sunshine, so that'll be a rainbow, right?
Oh, I love rainbows.
Sunshine and rain. High 85 tomorrow, Wednesday. Sunny and 86, Thursday 85, Friday 90, Saturday 91. Still in the 90s. It's still August. We'll get a live weather report from our exclusive meteorologist, Kyle Varnold, later this morning. Right now, it's still about 72 at the Wazoo.
We learned earlier that hard work produces results, and that's why Realtor Kathy Reynolds is so successful. She works hard to get results for her clients seeking to sell and or buy their next home. Learn more from Kathy. You can hear from her at 309-696-2162. Now the news. Here's Terry Lynn.
Well, fresh from ending the decades-long war between Armenia and Azerbaijan, President Trump will meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin this Friday in the hopes of reaching a peaceful settlement between Ukraine and Russia. The location has not yet been revealed for security reasons. Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky is not too happy he's not been invited. Fearful discussions could involve the loss of some Ukrainian territory. Meanwhile, Russia launched several missile attacks into Ukraine, which injured 12 people.
A Russian source, without giving specifics, has suggested there are certain individuals and NATO countries seeking to torpedo the Trump-Putin summit. Arizona Democrat Senator Mark Kelly is the first to criticize the peace attempt by Trump. He called Putin a war criminal who should not be allowed in the United States. A little geography for Senator Kelly. Russia is just 55 miles from Alaska. Arizona is 3,610 miles from the 49th state, admitted in 1959.
The president will hold a news conference this morning to talk about fighting crime with federal resources in the nation's capital. Though crime statistics indicate crime is down in the city, some high-profile news stories have caught Trump's attention. He wants the city to be safe, especially at night. The president also remains critical of the Federal Reserve's decision to spend $3.1 billion to renovate its home office building. As usual, he'll field questions from the media.
Democratic Judge James Boasberg got legally slapped around by an appeals court for his contempt of court ruling against President Trump. Boasberg, who's made no secret of his contempt for Trump, ruled last April that the Trump administration was in contempt of his order to halt deportation of illegal and criminal immigrants to El Salvador. The D.C. Court of Appeals said Boasberg exceeded his authority. Department of Justice attorneys said the Democrat judge engaged in a clear case of judicial overreach, underreach. Sorry. He reached somebody, reach around, whatever. He
reached out.
Closer to home, police in Gibson City, Illinois are searching for a 70-year-old man who shot 2 law enforcement officers early Saturday morning at his home. The gunman, David Jordan, opened fire on officers as they were investigating a report that a man, Jordan, was walking around naked at 2:30 in the morning. A Gibson City officer and a Ford County deputy sheriff were wounded, but not seriously, said officials. Jordan allegedly set fire to his house before he took off. He remains at large.
Did they get a look at the guy at all? I mean, they said he's at large. Did they get any other description?
I thought we buried this story earlier in the morning.
In Peoria. Yeah. Well, we've had new listeners every.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
In Peoria firefighters were called to a fire. Huh. Early Saturday morning in the 800 block of South Warren Street. The blaze, they said, was intentionally started on the second floor of the 2-story vacant house. Damage was estimated at $70,000.
An apparent domestic dispute in rural Washburn, Illinois, ended with a man in critical condition and a woman under treatment for serious gunshot wounds. Police say the man shot himself, with indications he did so after shooting his girlfriend.
Congratulations to Halston Williams. He's at the Center of Prevention of Abuse. The Illinois Department of Aging has named Williams Adult Protective Services Advocate of the Year. Congratulations.
And there you have the news as we see it, and our comprehensive news continues with WCBU.
From the WCBU newsroom, I'm John Norton. Peoria City staff will present a report on the possible use of tiny homes to assist the community's unhoused population at this week's City Council meeting. City Manager Patrick Urich says such an effort would require a number of updates to existing regulations.
We would have to amend the building code to allow dwellings that would be less than 120 square feet in size, and then we'd have to change some of the zoning requirements to allow for what would be called transient lodging in certain zoning classifications.
Council members previously requested more information on the idea of tiny homes during a special policy session on homelessness. City staff has researched similar developments in other municipalities. Current Peoria building codes do not allow for this type of living unit. The Peoria County Board will vote this week on Liberty Steel and Wire's request for a loan that would enable the company to relocate its headquarters to the region. County Administrator Scott Sorrell says the company has asked for a $2.65 million loan from its Keystone Fund. That would be part of a larger capital improvement plan that includes a move from Texas to Bartonville.
Their direct and indirect economic impact in the Peoria region is $850 million a year. To see their corporate headquarters, regardless of the size, move to our community, it is a huge win.
Sorrell says Liberty also is seeking $25 million in state grant funding along with tax credits. One requirement of those credits is for the business to have its headquarters in Illinois. The county board meeting is Thursday. And rules for Washington Community High School students using their cell phones during the school day have been tweaked. The school board approved changes in the student handbook, updating the cell phone policy. Students can only use their phones for instruction during class periods and only with the teacher's approval. Assistant Superintendent Karen Beverlin says the previous rule was more passive in giving teachers decision-making responsibility. Students can continue to use cell phones between classes and during lunch. Chance of showers through the day, otherwise cloudy and a high in the 80s. I'm John Norton, WCBU News.
Okay, thank you, Johnny, for a good report that included a little bit about weather as well. Time for sports brought to you by BradleyFans.com. John Meisinger is off on assignment. Miss you, John. I'll do the best job I can in your place, and we'll start with NFL football and our Chicago Bears playing their first preseason exhibition game at Soldiers Field yesterday against the Miami Dolphins. The game ended in a 24-24 tie after, I don't mind telling you, officials failed to call an obvious pass interference play against Miami in the game's final minutes. If the Bear receiver had been assaulted that way on the streets of Chicago, the defender would have been arrested for assault and battery, but not in the NFL. In all fairness, pass interference continues to be the most controversial calls in football at every level of play. But the biggest highlight of the game for the Bears, in my humble opinion, was a 57-yard field goal by Cairo Santos ending the first half. Caleb Williams, the Chicago Star quarterback, did not play, and if you were looking for something to get excited about for the coming regular season, it wasn't there yesterday afternoon. The Bears next play Buffalo. And other scores from the NFL of interest to some of our fans. Baltimore over Indianapolis, 24-16. Philadelphia edge Cincinnati, 34-27. Detroit over Atlanta, 17-10. The Lions expected to win the Central Division. The Giants beat the Bills, 34-25. Minnesota over Texas, 20-10. The Cowboys lost to the Rams, 31-21. And in case you missed it, the Arizona Cardinals defeated the Kansas City Chiefs, 20-17. And last I heard, Ed Hammond was on medication. And the Green Bay Packers were thumped big time by the Jets of New York, 30-10. Let's turn to baseball. The Chicago Cubs struggling offensively as well as in the pitching department. On the other hand, the Central Division Milwaukee Brewers are hotter than a 4th of July sparkler going into action last night against the Cardinals. The Cubs trailing Milwaukee by 5.5 games. Make that 6 games now. St. Louis is out of it at 14 and maybe even 15 games. The Cubs trailed 2-0 until Matt Shaw for Chicago hit a 2-run homer. The 4-bagger equaled the homer earlier by Pedro Perez of St. Louis. The final, St. Louis 3, Chicago 2. The Cardinals thus win 2 of 3 games. Some other Major League scores of local interest. Houston beat the Yankees 7-1. My brother's feeling bad about that. And the White Sox, playing much better ball now, defeated Cleveland 6-4. Milwaukee, we're talking about the Brewers, came from behind to beat the struggling New York Mets 7-6. The Phillies over the Rangers 4-2. And Toronto 5, the Dodgers 4. In golf, an exciting finish to the FedEx St. Jude Championship in Memphis, Tennessee yesterday. Justin Rose defeated J.J. Spawn, winning on the 3rd playoff hole. It was an exciting game, but a tough loss for Tommy Fleetwood. I like that name, Tommy Fleetwood, who led most of the way until falling behind in the back 9 Sunday afternoon. Rose won, and he won $3.6 million. But don't feel too sorry for Fleetwood. He finished in a tie for 3rd, winning $1.16 million. Back to baseball, kind of a human interest story. If you were watching the Cardinal Cup game Saturday night, you saw a young but rising future Major League umpire, 13-year-old Bradley Vinson, dressed in black and wearing the mask and all of the appropriate umpire gear, was calling balls and strikes out and safe plays from the stands to the delight of fans at the game and also on national television. The kid was a star and outstanding in his physical reactions, just like the umpire who was really calling the game behind the plate. He was saying 2 strikes, he was giving the count, and he was holding it up like when the batter stepped out of the box, just like the umpire, and then he would, point to the batter or to the pitcher, it's time to pitch. He and his father drove from their home in Jupiter, Florida for the 3-game series. And I don't know if you can look it up, but he was truly outstanding.
Do you have that partial score for us, Roger?
That partial score?
Yeah.
3-2.
Okay.
All right. I don't know what was going on, but thank you very much.
To set you up.
And there you have it, news, weather, sports. Hey, I want to mention this up there. want to bring this up because we just finished talking about baseball. Now, knowing both of you are diehard sports fans, I'm bringing this subject up as much for the people watching on YouTube or listening on 90.7 FM. Why is it when an umpire, and Bradley Vinson was doing the same thing, when they call a strike on the first strike, he'll say, strike. And then next pitch, maybe a strike, and he'll go, strike. And maybe the next pitch is strike 3, and he goes on, am I on TV? Let me, where is it? Okay. And for the third strike, the umpire gets very animated. He says, strike 3! Now, let me tell you something. The guy already feels bad that he struck out. Why does the umpire have to engage in the histrionics? Strike 3!
I don't know. It's part of the game. It's just part of the. I don't know. It's his 15 minutes of fame, I guess.
How would it's but adding insult to injury? Like, what if you came in for your job evaluation, and
they got to show
the guy who's your boss says you're fired? How would you feel?
I would just leave.
Well, you bet you would. But you know it's kind of like you go to the doctor and you get an exam.
You're sick.
And the
you're dying.
And the doctor says you have hemorrhoids. Nobody does that to a guy. You already feel bad with the circumstance. Now the good part could be, like if a woman goes to her obstetrician, gynecologist, and the doctor comes in and he says, you're pregnant.
Well, yeah.
You don't need the histrionics, so why did they do it in baseball?
You're right, because they know they're on.
Yeah.
Most of them are on camera, and it's their 15 minutes of fame.
Well said. I never thought of it.
Yeah, and they're trying to show their authority. They're in charge of the game.
The dentist comes in, I saw your x-rays, and you've got cavities!
Well, it doesn't fit in everything.
Oh.
Doesn't fit in real life, but this is a game.
And
we have to remember it's a game.
Well, but see, we're on television now, so
YouTube,
when we have a guest, we'll say, Kevin Sullivan, you're on TV!
Well, we don't attend.
Why the histrionics?
I don't know. We don't attend to be, and I've never heard that word before.
Histrionics?
No, I thought.
I made it up.
I've
No,
never,
you can say.
it's a real word.
Well, thank
I'm
you.
sure it's a real word, but I've never heard that used in a sentence. So congratulations. Was this
Well,
a new thing?
it took 34 years
You've never
for
said
the
that word before?
opportunity to use that word.
Histrionics.
He's always trying to use it in a sentence.
Yeah, you've been working for years to use that in a sentence. No, I've never heard that word. That's unusual for me because I.
Well, no, because you're a very learned man.
Well, I'm not that learned.
You have
I have a high school
bug on
education.
my microphone.
Histrionics.
Yeah.
Speaking
It's
of,
like theatrics.
yes, it is.
Go ahead. You're speaking of.
Well, we had a listener, Kendra, asked if Terry, as a hypnotist, believes that
What?
hypnotizing someone can really work to help someone quit smoking.
Yeah, it works. Yeah, I don't do the.
You don't do the
I
medical
don't do the
stuff.
therapy.
Why did you
don't
decide
want me
not to
fooling
do
with
it?
your head that much?
Yeah. There are people who, to me, the jury is still out as to whether or not smoking is addictive. I know of two people. One was my once-time father-in-law, since passed away, a wonderful guy. Floyd Hansen was his name. And he had his annual checkup, and the doctor said, Floyd, if you keep smoking, you're going to die young. And he walked out and never picked up the cigarette after that.
Wow.
And then I know someone else who did the same thing that said, you know what, smoking isn't. And a good example of, for alcoholism, Jonathan Winters told me. He woke up after a performance in San Francisco in his motel room, not motel, my ankle, hotel. What was the big name? most famous, one of the first hotels to have an outside elevator.
Oh, outside. I want to say the Francis Drake, but it didn't have an
Ritz?
outside
No, it
elevator.
wasn't Francis Drake. No, this is in San Francisco.
There was a
Well,
Hilton
Fairmont,
downtown.
the Fairmont.
Oh, the Fairmont.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he woke up and he had empty whiskey bottles all over his room, and he said to himself, if I don't stop, I'm going to die a young man. And he never touched a drop after that. However, it wasn't a case where he did it by himself. He said no matter where he went in the United States or even in Europe, even when he was in Paris, where, by the way, he crawled up into the arms of a statue. And he said, that was about the third time they took me away. But he went every day to an AA meeting, no matter where it was.
Every day?
Every day for like 25, 30 years.
Really? Well, he needed the support. That's good he got it. That's good. Yeah.
So, anyway, back to hypnosis. It has been said that it does work.
Absolutely works. Yeah. It absolutely
Because you have someone, if someone asks you about that, since Terry has a smoking problem, no, you never have smoked, have you?
No, I have not.
And I tried it once in the Army, I've mentioned this before, when we would be on bivouac, or maybe not on bivouac, and the cadre said, okay, at ease, and the smoking lamp is lit.
Smoke him if you got him.
And smoke if you got him was another way of putting it. And I didn't smoke, and I thought, smoke if you got him. So I said to a buddy of mine, I said, hey, can I borrow a cigarette? Mine are still in the machine. No, that's an old Rodney Dangerfield line. And so he loaned me a cigarette. The third time he said, get your own. And thank goodness and thank God he said that, because I never...
You didn't want to spend the money.
I didn't want to
Well, that
spend
was
the money.
smart.
I did.
So it's very expensive.
So
to
I've
smoke.
never, especially today.
Oh, my goodness. I was a heavy
Did you?
smoker.
Yeah,
I was a
you've
real
got. You think? Did you have the rich resident voice you have now?
I was born with
You were
this.
born with it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No. Yeah, no, I did.
Like when
smoking
you were
didn't
born,
cause this.
when you came out of the womb, did you say, "Hi, Doc"?
And stand by, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
yeah.
We have a brand new baby boy.
Yeah. Yeah. Brought to you by Chesterfield. So you do refer people.
I do. I have some
who
buddies
ask
who do.
medical questions.
I do have some friends in the business that are therapists. I don't do any therapy work because it's not as funny as the stuff that I do.
Yeah.
And I don't want to spend the time and do it. I don't need an office anymore. I don't.
Have you, you know, we had a guy, a hypnotist, come to town, famous national, it probably wasn't him, it was probably Sergey's, who was heavily advertised on radio. Have you ever thought about going to that and saying to the guy, hey, I don't want to spend the $49, but I'd just like to sit in and, and watch you. Do you have any kind of a brotherhood in that business?
I know what they do there. A good friend of mine used to do that for a living before he decided, you know, when he found out what he was getting paid to do those shows and what he could do with the comedy stage shows, he said, I want to do that.
Yeah, heck with the comedy shows.
No. The comedy shows paid a lot more than the.
We have 49 if you get 10 people.
Well,
and if you get 50 people, do the numbers, pal.
I know, but and he did make millions in that business. Mark
Oh,
Patrick.
you bet. What's his name?
Mark Patrick.
Okay.
And he made millions in that business, but there's only so much room in that business to do that. You know, go into an area and advertise in the local.
Yeah, you got to spend some money to get people to come.
Yeah.
But
and he made his
I'm
money.
Sure
he doesn't make his money on the hypnosis. He makes his money. You know, we talked earlier about the back of the room sales. He makes his money in the back of the room sales selling vitamins. That's
You're kidding.
No, that's where he makes his money in that business. Not on.
Isn't that interesting?
He spends that $49.95 or whatever that you pay for the seminar. He spends that on advertising because he's going to make it up with the back of the room sales for his
that
vitamins.
is interesting.
That's the moneymaker.
By the way, if you're interested in B12, we do have a special offer today, $49.95.
And next week, Botox. We're going to bring in some Botox.
No, that's needles. we don't have anything to do. How old were you when you decided to take up hypnosis as a profession?
As a profession, when I got older, I thought it'd be a great retirement kind of job. I wanted to do it when I was younger, but you couldn't find anybody to train you back then, and anybody that knew a lot about it. There wasn't that many people doing that as far as the stage show stuff. You know?
Yeah, but weren't to learn from somebody, they like to protect their, their profession, and I'm sure in the beginning they weren't eager to share
the
their talent
misconception
with you.
was I could teach you how to hypnotize somebody. Anybody can learn how to do that, but it's rather difficult to teach somebody how to stand on stage and stage presence, timing, delivery, that deal.
Platform poise is not easy to come by.
That's hard to
but
teach.
It's for the more you do it, the better. Somebody I read an article about fear, and the way to overcome fear is attack it and do the thing that you fear.
Exactly. But it's a common fear for individuals to be on stage, be in front of a crowd.
Oh, that's
you
the
bet,
biggest fear.
And I enjoy that. I know some
You do? Well, you were kind of different.
I don't get too nervous before I do a
Wow.
show. In fact, once I get on stage, I'm more comfortable than waiting to get on stage. It's but you've done that too. You've done a lot of public speaking and been involved in the public.
My master's thesis was on stage fright. I did research
Seriously?
on yeah. And Demosthenes used to stutter and stammer, and the way he overcame it, he started speaking with pebbles in his mouth.
Really?
Yeah, and that allegedly helped him overcome
Well,
that.
why? Now, let me ask you. You know a lot about this. If you did a paper on, did you get an A?
I think I did.
Okay. Because if you got a D, I thought we'd just move on.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you may want to move on anyway, because I'm not sure I will remember.
Is that like an innate human attribute or whatever you want to call it, of humans having stage fright? Or
It's like a lot of fears. It's learned.
It's learned, really. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you when you're a kid and you're riding, like I saw a kid riding one of these motorized scooters, and I would say he was probably between 12 and 14, and it was in Morton, and he was flying. Well, that kid had no idea. I was scared. I got nervous.
You were scared, yeah.
Because I thought, you can kill yourself the way you're driving. But he had no fear because he had the confidence that he had everything well under control. And it's like anything else. Those things you can control, you can gain confidence, but there are things you can't control, like the car coming at you, and you don't see him for that matter. But how do you feel about fear?
Or are you fearful on stage? Because you're on the radio all the time.
I used to be, and then I took Toastmasters
That's
when,
right.
when I lived in.
Okay.
We had a club at Century, and that's what got me into it. And I found, of course, in high school when I had speech class, I was barely prepared. I had terrible time, and I remember one speech I came out real short, and Mr. Drinkwater would think, "What'd you forget?" I'd forgotten a whole section. But I didn't have a single friend in the class.
Oh.
So you didn't have anybody you could look out and get a comforting look. It was all the other group of kids, and so you had hostile eyes looking at you. That added to my fear. College was a little bit better. I was very prepared for my speeches, and I had some friends in the class, which it's amazing what a difference it makes when you've got a couple supportive faces to look at.
Sure.
And then, like I said, at Century, when I got into Toastmasters, they really teach you how to put a speech together, how to run a whole meeting, for that matter. When you are the Toastmaster,
Stand up in front of a group of people and not wet yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so when I moved back home, we had I think it was our 15-year reunion. And I was on the planning committee, and then we wound up having a DJ and a speaker and all that at the actual reunion itself. And nobody wanted to be the thing. And then Jim goes, "Well, you took Toastmasters. You can be." And they shoved the microphone in my hand, and like, okay, I guess I'm going to run their show, and I did. And if everybody from high school is like, you were always shy, mousy, quiet. And I'm like, well, it's amazing what Toastmasters will do for you.
Well, it built your confidence.
It really did.
And the more you did, it's interesting. I always felt more comfortable speaking to strangers than I did friends, because if I goofed up with friends, they'd remind me that you goofed up.
The
The
strangers don't know
strangers,
you,
I'll never see those people again. And it's amazing the feedback, because feedback is very important, as you know, as a professional performer. That I remember I had a dear friend that no matter what I did, he thought I walked on water. God love him. He has since passed away. Tom Ficken was his name. Tom Mason. That's another story. But at any rate, he would go with me when I was doing stand-up comedy or whatever you wanted to call it. And I had a great night. And the next night, I performed at the YWCA, and the stage was at the end of the room, and the audience was quite a distance from the stage. Well, it's hard to polarize your audience, to get them together to laugh, and I bombed big time. And
you have to have a connection with your audience. I don't care
Yeah,
what you're performing. If it's hypnosis, stand-up, if it's a play, whatever. If you can't connect to your audience, you're lost.
yeah, and the same material, different audience. And my friend Tom knew that. I said, boy, did I bomb. No, you didn't bomb. It was a bad audience.
How long did you do stand-up?
I wouldn't call it sad. I don't know what you would call it, to tell you the truth.
Did you write your own material?
Yes.
Really? You know, there's a deal in town. You know Blindstein? You heard of him? Absolutely.
Yeah, you've met him.
We did a show together. I was the MC down at Kelleher's on Water Street.
All right.
What was the date? August 31st of last year.
Okay. Well, he's doing a thing now at the event center. And he'll have 5 or 6 comedians come in. They each get 5 minutes. I think it's 5 minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes. If they go over their time, and they'll give them a little light when they get, I think, a minute.
Oh, do they really?
But if they go over it, they're automatically disqualified. Yeah, it's very strict.
Is that right?
And then the audience, you have a slip of paper with all the names, and then you rank them. Your top
that's
3,
interesting.
and then they move on. And he's having a final coming up. We have to get Blind in here to talk to him about that. I know he's going to Colorado here pretty soon to do some shows, but we should get him in here to talk to him about his comedy.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
You know, I remember watching my hero, Jonathan Winters, and Royce Elliott, of course, on Johnny Carson show. And Carson asked him, have you ever died? And Jonathan was there many times, he said. And Royce always had a good line. If he told a joke and it bombed, he said, here's another one you might not like.
And you have to. As an entertainer, you have to bomb. If you go out there and every show's fantastic and everything's incredible, you'll be the worst human being to deal with. You have to bomb in that business to let you know who you really are.
But it's no fun when it does happen.
No, it's not
All right,
fun.
let's try not to bomb with the news. And our news at the bottom of the hour brought to you by Bob Manning. He's Senior Vice President, Financial Advisor with the Grandview Capital Group at Morgan Stanley in Peoria. For all your investment needs, you might want to remember the name Bob Manning, well known in the community, a super nice guy. His phone number 309-671-4653. Morgan Stanley, Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. Now the news.
I didn't know if you're going to have another line or not.
Yeah. One way that you overcome the fear is you just fall asleep.
Just don't say anything.
After ending a decades-long war between Armenia and Azerbaijan, President Trump will meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin this Friday in the hopes of reaching a peaceful settlement between Ukraine and Russia. The location has not yet been revealed for security reasons. Meanwhile, Russia launched several missile attacks into Ukraine, which injured 12 people.
Well, don't you think it's going to be at the White House? I mean, isn't it the most secure building in America? I mean, they're not going to meet at the Holiday Inn, are they? I mean, come on. We got a conference room, not the Holiday Inn. We're going to meet with Vladimir.
And we'll leave the light on.
Yeah. It's going to be the White House, isn't it? Well, I mean, it's a secret, but why...
No, it's going to be in Alaska.
It's going to be in Alaska.
That's where they're meeting.
Oh, it's in Alaska. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, then it might be at the Holiday Inn. Maybe it's at, what's her name's house?
And you know, one of the most...
On the front porch.
If you look at the list of crime-ridden, city with the largest amount of crime, what do you think is on that list of I think the top 10?
Washington, D.C.
Well, of crimes or what city?
Anchorage.
Oh, Anchorage.
Yes,
Really?
I was shocked.
Me
So they
too.
will not be meeting in Anchorage.
No. Maybe it'll be Nome or Juneau.
Barrow. There's nobody in Barrow,
Oh, that's,
Alaska.
yeah, that'd be a
Point
good
Barrow.
place.
Yeah, no, it's right at the top of the globe. Is Barrow, Alaska.
That might be
Next to
where
the North Pole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's right there.
I think
Anyway.
Santa will be there.
No,
Might
he
be.
says South Pole. It's summertime.
Oh,
He goes to
he's
South.
on vacation in the South
does.
Pole. Okay.
Don't you know that?
Well, I went, there is a Santa at North Pole in Alaska. We visited one summer
I
in
believe in
August.
Santa.
Of matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was there. He said, "Tell that bald-headed guy on your show hello." And so I told Mike Dentino. He's not here to defend himself. Anyway, back to the
Back
news.
to the news. A Russian source has suggested there are certain individuals and NATO countries seeking to torpedo the Trump-Putin summit. Arizona Democrat Senator Mark Kelly is the first to criticize the peace attempt by Trump. He called Putin a war criminal who should not be allowed in the United States. The president will hold a news conference this morning to talk about fighting crime with federal resources in the nation's capital. Though crime statistics indicate crime is down in the city, some high-profile news stories have caught Trump's attention. He wants the city to be safe, especially at night. The president also remains critical of the Federal Reserve's decision to spend $3.1 billion to renovate its home office building. As usual, he'll field questions from the media. Democrat federal judge James Boasberg was reversed by an appeals court for his contempt of court ruling against President Trump. Boasberg, who's made no secret of his contempt for Trump, ruled last April that the Trump administration was in contempt of his order to halt deportation of illegal and criminal immigrants to El Salvador prisons. The D.C. Court of Appeals said Boasberg exceeded his authority. Police in Gibson City, Illinois are searching for a 70-year-old man who shot 2 law enforcement officers early Saturday morning at his home. The gunman, David Jordan, opened fire on officers as they were investigating a report that a man, Jordan, was walking around naked at 2:30 in the morning. A Gibson City officer and a Ford County deputy sheriff were wounded, but not seriously, said officials. Jordan allegedly set fire to his house before he took off. He remains at large.
What do you mean he took off? He took off his clothes?
No, I think that answers your question. He was out roaming around. Somehow he got back in the house. He probably put on some clothes, set fire to the
that's
house,
what I think
No, I
and
wouldn't
then
assume
slipped
that.
out.
Why would you assume that?
Because, well,
Because
Well, you can't run around and hide if you're naked, because you can't
hide
fit
more
into.
so when you're naked.
No, because he's going to stand out in a crowd. You can't go to a shopping mall and not
and
be
blend in.
noticed if you're
Exciting. I don't
naked, because you won't know where he is until everybody turns. Anyway, in other news,
Another news. Peoria firefighters were called to a fire early Saturday morning in the 800 block of South Warren Street. The blaze, they said, was intentionally started on the second floor of the 2-story vacant house. Damage estimated at $70,000. An apparent domestic dispute in rural Washburn, Illinois, ended with a man in critical condition and a woman under treatment for serious gunshot wounds. Police say the man shot himself, with indications he did so after shooting his girlfriend. And we extend our congratulations to Halston Williams of the Center for Prevention of Abuse. The Illinois Department of Aging has named Williams Adult Protective Services Advocate of the Year. And that's really quite an honor. So congratulations, Halston.
now you mentioned you knew the guy. He goes to your church.
Yes, he's a
Right.
new member of our church.
How old is he?
Oh,
I'm going to say
so bad at that.
72.
Oh, no, I'd put him at maybe 35, 40.
Oh, really? A young guy.
Young guy.
Well, good for him. Tell him we're proud of him.
They will next Sunday.
All right.
Okay. That's it for
Want to
headlines.
wrap it up?
If you don't mind.
So anyway.
What's the weather?
Oh, you want to do the weather now?
Well, I think
Are
so.
we sponsored?
Yes.
By someone? Somehow?
Yes, we are.
Who is that? Who would that be, Roger?
Sam Lilly.
Oh, I know
Sam
Sam.
Lilly and Associates. Sam's a neat guy. We haven't seen him in a long time. You know, he come in every now and then and do sports. I should have called him. See,
I've never
do
met the guy.
sports.
I don't know.
Nice guy,
Very
Sam
nice
Lilly.
guy.
He's been in the insurance business for over 40 years. His home base is Farmington, Illinois. He has a nice office and a very nice home, and it's on the main drag. And he likes to help people get the best coverage for the best price, and he does make home visits when necessary. So just a neat guy to consider for your insurance. His phone number, 309-245-4374. Sam Lilly, an associate. And now here's Terry interrupting me as usual.
Well, sometimes you give me an intro. Sometimes you'll give me the.
That's
finger.
right. So you never know.
And
That's
then
why
other times
you need to
don't-
be on your
Other
toes.
times you don't do anything. You
Tiny
just
Tim.
sit there. Mostly cloudy today with a 30% chance. We're going to have rehearsals.
Yeah,
we
we're
really
gonna have-
should.
No,
get
that'll
back
make
to
things
that.
worse.
Showers and thunderstorms, a little bit today, maybe. High 85, rain tonight, low 72 tomorrow. More rain, along with some sunshine, rainbows. High 85 right now. It's 72. What's the crawl say? Because I feel stupid if it's different on YouTube.
73.
73. 73. And the humidity's got to be probably 95% or 98%.
I know, but it's
up
bad.
there.
It's sticky.
It's very sticky.
It's a very sticky day. So that, Roger, is the news and weather and sports.
I have kind of a funny story.
Yeah.
We're not doing the normal lectionary for our gospel readings and that at church.
Oh, okay.
We are doing something a little different. So right now we're in the book of Revelation.
Oh, okay. All right.
And
This is going to be funny, right? You said this is going to be
well, it's just interesting.
Okay, all right.
So pastor's on vacation, so we have a member of the congregation who went through training, and it's called a SAMS, which is
Went to Sam's Club?
no, not Sam's Club, but it's he can in the Lutheran Church he can now give communion and do of course sermons. I don't know if he can marry someone. He might be able to, but it'll be like in the Catholic Church, probably a deacon or.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, deacons can do a lot of
Okay,
stuff.
so and he was in the Coast Guard, and he always has great stories. I love when he does sermons. So yesterday we had the reading from the 5th chapter of Revelation, and he said, now to really set this up, we need to remember back to last week's, and we talked about where the vision that John has is the throne, and you've just colors. You know, it was like jasper and the blue colors and lights and thunder and lightning were coming from the throne. And so he's trying to set this up. And about that time, we get a great big crack of thunder.
Oh, really?
Yeah, church was from 10 to 11. And so that's about when the storms hit yesterday morning.
Yeah, that's right. You're exactly right.
It was just, and Stuart's like, no, thank you, like, we got the sound effects. It was just perfect timing.
You know, that's interesting because we were in church at Eastside Bible Church, and same thing happened while the minister was preaching, the big clap of thunder, and he says something to the effect, and to make my point further, thank you, God.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that. It woke me up. I was.
In church? Were you in church
No,
every
I was
time?
still in bed.
All right. What'd you do? When's the last time you did a show, and when's your next show?
Last time I did one, I don't know. I have to think.
It was
probably
at
prom
the
season.
high school.
It was prom season. Yeah.
Down in Mount Pulaski or
Yeah, I know.
someplace
It
like
was,
that. Yeah.
somewhere in
How do you get those gigs?
I
How do
work
they
with-
learn about you?
I work with a group, and I'm also on the Bash.
On the what?
The Bash. It's a place where people can go in if they're looking for entertainment and hire.
Oh, really?
All kinds of different stuff. It's all free for that. We pay to be on there, and then I'll get a lead from there and go in and bid a job or something. I just saw there's a job in Galena, Illinois. Somebody's
Oh,
looking
nice
for
town.
Yeah.
Been there. Chestnut Mountain Lodge is there for skiing in the winter. They manufacture their own snow.
Oh yeah,
on
they have a
their-
snow
yeah.
machine.
So you've been there apparently before.
I haven't performed there, but I've been to Galena.
What'd you do? Ski?
No, I went with my wife. They have
That's
all
a
the
nice. Yeah, they have nice
antique stuff.
shops there, don't they?
And I'm not. I hate antiques.
Oh,
It's just a bunch of old stuff. It's just I don't get
well,
it.
you don't like me then.
And, well, no,
Yeah,
not
I
no.
mean, it's
Humans
getting
are
a little personal now.
Humans are okay.
Yeah.
Some.
Yeah.
But No, I'm. Anyway, to answer your question, October, I think it's 17th. Be at a place here in town. That'll be announced later. I can't.
Okay.
Get into it
Yeah,
now, but-
I'd like to come to it as long as you
Well, it's
don't.
at night.
Don't.
So
Well,
I don't know.
You know, is it if it's a Friday night, Saturday night? That's okay.
It's a,
if it's during the week.
No, it's a Friday
then-
night.
Yeah,
It's
well,
a
that
Friday
would be
night.
okay.
All right,
I'd
you'd
like
come to it.
Sure,
I could
I'd
probably
love to.
get you tickets.
Well,
at
I'm
a
not.
discount.
Hey, I'm not that cheap. But close to it.
I get you a buck off.
You are you like most entertainers? You love what you do and you
I
enjoy
do. I do.
the audience, and most people are very friendly.
I'm just very lucky that I never made the decision, maybe didn't have the opportunity, that I didn't do it for a living, to be very honest, because that is a very, very, very difficult way to make a buck. You can make a tremendous amount of money in the entertainment business, but you know there's only a handful of people who
There are
do.
some pitfalls along the way.
There's a lot of pitfalls,
Yeah.
and it
Usually it's
typically
people-
doesn't pay that well. It typically doesn't pay that well, and then the travel. I'm glad I never did it for a living, that I can do it in my retirement years and just have fun doing it.
You know, for something like 6 years, I traveled for a couple of insurance companies as a training director and somewhat of an MC for some of their programs and so forth. I won't go into the details, but the worst part about it was travel.
Oh, God.
You know, living out of a suitcase or
Horrible.
living in a motel room, even one night. The walls begin to close in, and it is interesting, and it really doesn't matter the price of the motel. They all have a certain aroma, I'll put it that way, or be blunt, Roger, smell.
No, they do.
And it's not a repulsive smell, it's just
the hotel smell.
a hotel smell. There's no other word to put it.
I've got friends that do 300 nights a year. I think that's crazy. I mean, they make okay money, but the home life is different and blah.
Oh,
you know, it's just-
I don't think they have a home life.
They don't.
That's one of the things I do admire, these truck drivers who travel across the country. They make well over 100,000, maybe closer to 200,000, but what a life. And when they get out of their truck to go get a bite to eat or whatever, so many of them have a gut on them, like W.C. Fields, because they spend their whole life on their butts
sit there
and eating.
Yeah.
And what a tough life. I don't think any of them have an opportunity for. I guess if you stop at the Oasis or the travel places along the interstate, you can get out and do push-ups or walk around. But they don't.
No.
And so I would say the longevity for transcontinental or across the country truck drivers is probably very, very short.
Yeah. Anything
Unless
about-
they make their big bucks and then retire.
Anything about in the entertainment business, your jobs are usually in the evening, and you know you get up for a show, you get excited, and you get done performing 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. You don't go and go to bed, so now you're up till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and usually alcohol and / women are involved, and it just it's a weird life. It's a very difficult life. I'm glad I never did it to that extent, because
There's probably guys listening right now, and gals. You see female truck drivers now. Not as many as you think that there would be, but nonetheless, they're out and about, and as they go into different towns and so forth, I'm sure they're switching their radios around, and maybe as we speak. If there's a truck driver right now and you want to call and tell us about your life, dial 309-966-4044. Jot that down. Don't take your eyes off the word. Be careful. 309-966-4044. And wouldn't it be neat to talk to a guy that might be from Ottumwa, Iowa, or Sacramento, California, passing through the area, and say, yeah, I'll tell you about it. I love it because I'm making lots of money that my wife is spending on the 10 kids we have.
Her and her boyfriend.
Yeah, that I wouldn't have told, but at any rate. Okay, we'll be right back after this important message.
They are our cuddlers and coworkers, purr machines and love bugs, and constant companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life so much better. When we face unexpected challenges in life, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people who love their pets and the pets who love their people, ensuring these families stay exactly where they belong, together. And you have something to offer. With an open heart and mind, there is nothing you can't do. There's no gesture too small or too big when it comes to helping. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. You can help keep pets and people together. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. This has been a public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
What do we have, 73 degrees? What do you have there, Reverend?
Well, I have 73 degrees and
Okay.
maybe some rain today. Only 30% of the people are going to get wet. So.
Yeah, I still don't buy that explanation. How about this day in history at 7:49, August 11th, 1965? Something happened, and it wasn't a good thing. Yes, was something that we'd like to forget. That's one of the reasons we're bringing it up.
65?
1965.
Have to do with Vietnam?
Had nothing to do with Vietnam.
Was it in California?
Yes, it was.
Was it the Watch riots?
That's what it was. How'd you know that?
Because my uncle was a police officer during that time, and he got injured. That's why he has.
What was he in the Watts area?
Well, yeah, he was a sergeant on the LAPD.
Really?
And Watch was part of that. So
No
yes, he
wonder
was.
you would know that.
Wow.
Yes.
My goodness.
Isn't that where Soul Brother came in?
I don't know about that, but the details are a California Highway Patrol officer pulled over an African-American man. His name was Marquette Fry of the Watts neighborhood for driving recklessly and appearing to be intoxicated. Fry's mother made her way to the scene and began chastising him for his poor decision-making, but during the heated conversation, somehow his mother was shoved. Others were hit, and a fight broke out between the citizens and officers at the Avalon Boulevard traffic stop. Bystanders quickly began to congregate, and police deployed to break up crowds, but they were met with airborne chunks of concrete and stones. 6 days of rioting ensued even after black community leaders attempted to settle down crowds and request peaceful protesting. The media reported conflicting stories. That's not unusual. They do a lot of that, conflicting, sometimes called lying. They claimed the African-American community was overreacting and finding an excuse for lawlessness, while others pointed to a rising tension between police and black communities as a reason for the explosion of violence. By the end of the 6 days, 34 people had died. I didn't know that many.
Mm-hmm. It was bad.
Wow.
They fired,
really
they
bad.
burned down. In fact, I'm sure that's where I just tried to look it up. I didn't see it, but when they were burning the buildings, someone had put a sign in one of the buildings that said Soul Brother. And that's the only building on the block that didn't get firebombed and burned.
Wow.
Don't you remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
remember that.
Making this up.
No.
I did.
I mean, I was
didn't
only 8
drink
years
this.
old, but I remember Uncle Rex talking about it.
Yeah.
And it was, and I tell you what, Uncle Rex had come home one of the times, and of course he brought Grandma to church, and Reverend Bischoff was still our pastor, and he, of course, had baptized and confirmed Uncle Rex. And so after church, he pulled Rex aside, and he goes, "You shoot first and ask questions later."
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So he was
Yeah.
a tough guy.
Yep.
All right.
Interesting. Over 1,000 people injured.
Yep.
$40 million in damage sustained across the area, including hundreds of neighborhood buildings being burned to the ground. So that was not an event that historically we want to remember, but it did happen.
It did happen.
Unfortunately, yeah. How long had he been a police officer?
Let's see, I think he went out there like in 1959, and he retired in 79. Maybe he put in 20 or 25 years he put in, and then he retired.
And he retired. Well,
Yep.
congratulations to him for his service. Quick question, and maybe not a quick answer, but I don't know about you, but I do watch television once in a while, and I was just wondering if the two of you would tell me who you think or what commercial is your worst commercial, one that you may even change the channel to get away from it.
I don't like the Charmin the Bears about wiping
Oh,
themselves,
yeah.
and I don't like those commercials. I don't know.
Why do you dislike it? I mean,
I don't know.
you use the product regularly.
We all do. Everyone listening does.
Yes,
We all
exactly
do.
right.
But
You can't get away from it.
no, you
No,
just, you can't.
Nor do you want to.
But I just I
Okay,
think
so you don't like the.
I think they're stupid.
Yeah, are they? Is it Charmin?
Yeah.
Charmin has the bears.
The
Blue
Bears.
Bears. I just
So
think they're
that's
stupid.
your worst
I just think it's
TV
stupid.
commercial.
I think currently the one I don't like is the one for dude wipes.
The what?
Well, see, same kind of thing.
Yeah, it's the
Wow.
same thing.
Yeah.
They're called dude wipes.
I don't
No.
even know what you're talking about. I must not be watching enough
Oh, they made
TV.
a ton of money.
Dude wipes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like a toilet paper product?
Yeah,
No.
but it's moist.
It's baby wipes.
Yeah, it's the baby wipes, but this is for adults. And apparently they're...
It's for dudes. It's not
it's for
adults.
du-
It's for dudes.
Yes. So they're a little bit larger than the baby wipes
Why
are.
are you two both at
I
that
don't know
end
why
of
we
it?
both hit on.
Just because they're disgusting. I realize they want to
yeah.
advertise the product, but remember Mr. Whipple used to do the Charmin, and it was squeezably soft.
Yeah.
That was,
Cute.
you got your point across, and people, well, here we are still talking about it 30 years later.
No.
Don't squeeze your Charmin. Mr. Whipple.
Well, I remember him. I like that commercial.
Okay, but now I don't want to see, yeah, the Bears, yeah.
Well, how about you, Raj?
What don't you like?
The commercial I dislike is the one that they blindfold a blonde and a brunette, and it's
was a fantasy
a men's cologne,
Oh, man.
and that they have romantic music, and the guy walks around. Apparently, he's all sprayed with this cologne, and at the end of the commercial, they take the mask off, the blindfold and a mask, and she said, "Bring him back. Where is he?" You haven't
What
seen that one?
station are you watching?
yeah.
I don't think anyone.
I haven't seen that one.
Roger,
Yeah,
what station?
That's
are you-
usually on.
Is this a private channel that you pay for?
It was on. Yeah, you pay extra for it. Yeah. So I ran out and bought the cologne. No. I can't even tell you the. And then some of the Geico
That's not on
commercials.
regular
I
commercial
don't-
TV.
Yes, it was on Fox.
Okay.
Yeah. And Liberty Mutual is on so much.
Oh, yes.
And
the
what balance
emu.
of nature. If I see one more chiropractor talking about how great those 6 tablets, capsules are that you have to take to be healthy. And there's a new one out. It's an older guy, and he said, "I'm 91 and I've been taking these immunity pills." Have you seen that one? No, that's kind of off the. But you know, I would tell you that one of the things ad agencies, and I worked for a number of years with an ad agency out of Chicago called Greenhouse Communication. Wonderful people, by the way, Sandy House and Greenberg. We're neat guys. Is I know when they have a commercial idea and they produce it, they give it to a group of people and get their reaction to it. And so when I see certain commercials, I wonder if they tested that.
Focus
with
group?
a focus group, yeah. They're called focus groups. Well, thank you.
I don't like the emu ones. Now here we are. We say we don't like them, but we remember the
We're
product.
talking about it.
But I don't
Well,
like those at
yeah,
all.
but
Those are
and some
stupid.
people believe even bad publicity is better than no publicity.
Absolutely.
But
There's-
I'd kind of argue that point. If you don't like something, you aren't going to run out and buy it, are you? Or just because
No.
you talk about it?
What was the most successful, longest-running local commercial?
Oh, I think the green weenie. So it's so
No,
cute.
not the, no, not
No, not that one.
not green weenies. the green guys.
The green men
Okay.
from the
They weren't
ATM.
they weren't the
Yeah.
green weenies. They were
Well,
called the green guys.
Yeah.
I was an original green guy.
Yeah, you know what? I knew
That's why
I'd
you said
seen you
weenie.
before.
That's
And I'll stick with my original green weenie, okay? Yeah, I can picture you as, yeah, I can. Because you didn't
As
have,
what?
you didn't have hair that, well, I think you had something over your head anyway, didn't you?
No, I had a little hair then. It's
Very
curly.
little.
My hair's very curly.
Yeah, was that, am I right? Was that the longest running commercial?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was very
for,
positive for Steph Q, right?
Yes. Lee Winger.
Lee
did that
Winger
commercial
was
for
one of the.
20, 30 years. Yeah.
Did you get residuals on that, or
No,
is
there
that
is
a
no
one-time
residuals.
only?
Peoria doesn't pay residuals.
Yeah, but they do nationally.
Nationally,
My
no
understanding
residuals.
is if
Yeah.
you do a commercial, and every time it runs, you get a piece of the action.
They do. I've never done any national commercials. Did a lot.
How'd you wind up getting? Did you audition for it?
No, somebody called me. Brian, I think his name was Brian Lundquist. He worked for, I think, Moss Advertising. And he called me and said, hey, I got a commercial I want you to be in. And I said, okay. I said, a voiceover? Because, I've got that face for radio.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, there's no question
He said,
about
no,
it.
you'll be on screen, but you'll be in green tights.
Green tights, yeah.
I said, well, I'm in.
Did you? Okay. Was that when you first discovered Charmin? All right. We have news, weather, sports coming up with or on Breakfast with Roger and Friends, WAZU FM 90.7 in Peoria, Illinois, and on YouTube. And to access this live production, live is what we can get on a Monday morning. You can go to Bradley, where'd that come from? breakfastwithrogerandfriends.com. Good morning, everybody, and it is a good morning on the cloudy side, and it is a Monday all day long on the 11th of August, and we begin with a check of the weather brought to you by our good friend Steve Sink. He's the managing partner of PHX Affiliates. Steve has been a business broker for more than 20 years, working with clients confidentially and professionally for the sale or purchase of a business. This guy knows business. And if you want to learn more from Steve, he's available at 309-696-8508.
Thank you, Roger. Mostly cloudy. 30% chance for rain today. Showers and thunderstorms all day. High 85. Rain tonight also. Low 72. Tomorrow, more rain along with some sunshine. High about 85. Wednesday, sunny 86. Thursday, 85. Friday, back up to the heat. 90. Saturday, 91. We're going to check out all this weather with our meteorologist, Kyle Varnold, later on this morning. Probably in about a half hour or so. Right now, it's 73 at the Wazoo.
Thank you. You know, losing a pet affects just about everyone, and the caring people at Peoria Pet, they know that. They're available 24/7 to help you through the grieving process, offering several choices for care. And remember, these are wonderful people to deal with. Peoria Pet Crematory, phone number 309-713-1898. Now here's Terry Lynn with our news.
Fresh amending the decades-long war between Armenia and Azerbaijan, President Trump will meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin this Friday in the hopes of reaching a peaceful settlement between Ukraine and Russia. The location has not yet been revealed for security reasons. Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky is not too happy he's not been invited. Fearful discussions could involve the loss of some Ukrainian territory. Meanwhile, Russia launched several missile attacks into Ukraine, which injured 12 people.
A Russian source, without giving specifics, has suggested there are certain individuals and NATO countries seeking to torpedo the Trump-Putin summit. Arizona Democrat Senator Mark Kelly is the first to criticize the peace attempt by Trump. Why would you criticize? Anyway, he called Putin a war criminal who should not be allowed in the United States. A little geography for Senator Kelly. Russia is just 55 miles from Alaska.
Yeah, wouldn't take very long to come across the the
You can
Bering
almost,
The Bering
Strait.
you can
Strait.
almost
Yep.
see Russia from there.
Yeah,
On a
that's
clear
what they
day.
say. On a clear day. Who
Very
sang
good.
that?
Sarah Palin. Oh,
No,
Oh, sorry,
no.
sorry, Prince.
Who was the one who's on a
I
clear
thought
day you
Barbara
can sing?
Streisand. On a clear day,
Robert
you can
Goulet
sing- Oh, Robert
sang
Goulet.
that.
Bob-
Well,
Bob
Barbara
Goulet.
Streisand probably
I
sang
did
it
a
too.
cover of it, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The president will hold a news conference this morning to talk about fighting crime with federal resources in the nation's capital. Though crime statistics indicate crime is down in the city, there's been some recent high-profile news stories that have caught Trump's attention. He wants the city to be safe, especially at night. The president also remains critical of the Federal Reserve's decision to spend $3.1 billion to renovate its home office building. As usual, he'll field questions from the media.
Democrat federal judge James Boasberg got legally slapped around by an appeals court for his contempt of court ruling against President Trump. Boasberg, who's made no secret of his contempt for Trump, ruled last April that the Trump administration was in contempt of his order to halt deportation of illegal and criminal immigrants to El Salvador. The D.C. Court of Appeals said Boasberg exceeded his authority. Department of Justice attorneys said the Democrat judge engaged in a clear case of judicial overreach.
Closer to home, police in Gibson City, Illinois are searching for a 70-year-old man who shot 2 law enforcement officers early Saturday morning at his home. The gunman, David Jordan, opened fire on officers as they were investigating a report that a man, Jordan, was walking around naked at 2:30 in the morning. A Gibson City officer and a Ford County deputy sheriff were wounded, but not seriously, said officials. Jordan allegedly set fire to his house before he took off. He remains at large.
In Peoria, firefighters were called to a fire early Saturday morning in the 800 block of South Warren Street. The blaze, they said, was intentionally started on the second floor of the 2-story vacant house. It caused about $70,000 in damage.
An apparent domestic dispute in rural Washburn, Illinois, ended with a man in critical condition and a woman under treatment for serious gunshot wounds. Police say the man shot himself, with indications he did so after shooting his girlfriend.
How do you shoot yourself with indications? What do you... What's it?
I don't know, it's,
Yeah.
it's a big gun.
Yeah, he's in critical condition, as I understand it. She's in serious
that's
condition,
terrible.
as you have reported.
Congratulations to Halston Williams of the Center for Prevention of Abuse. The Illinois Department of Aging has named Williams Adult Protective Services Advocate of the Year.
Amen. That was great. Congratulations.
That's
And you know the guy. Goes to your church.
I've met him. Like I said, they're new members, so I don't know him real well.
Okay. And there you have a look at the stories we're covering, and let's find out what they're covering at WCBU.
From the WCBU Newsroom, I'm John Norton. Peoria City staff will present a report on the possible use of tiny homes to assist the community's unhoused population at this week's City Council meeting. City Manager Patrick Urich says such an effort would require a number of updates to existing regulations.
We would have to amend the building code to allow dwellings that would be less than 120 square feet in size, and then we'd have to change some of the zoning requirements to allow for what would be called transient lodging in certain zoning classifications.
Council members previously requested more information on the idea of tiny homes during a special policy session on homelessness. City staff has researched similar developments in other municipalities. Current Peoria building codes do not allow for this type of living unit. The Peoria County Board will vote this week on Liberty Steel and Wire's request for a loan that would enable the company to relocate its headquarters to the region. County Administrator Scott Sorrell says the company has asked for a $2.65 million loan from its Keystone Fund. That would be part of a larger capital improvement plan that includes a move from Texas to Bartonville.
Their direct and indirect economic impact in the Peoria region is $850 million a year. To see their corporate headquarters, regardless of the size, move to our community, it is a huge win.
Sorrell says Liberty also is seeking $25 million in state grant funding along with tax credits. One requirement of those credits is for the business to have its headquarters in Illinois. The county board meeting is Thursday. And rules for Washington Community High School students using their cell phones during the school day have been tweaked. The school board approved changes in the student handbook updating the cell phone policy. Students can only use their phones for instruction during class periods and only with the teacher's approval. Assistant Superintendent Karen Beverlin says the previous rule was more passive in giving teachers decision-making responsibility. Students can continue to use cell phones between classes and during lunch. Chance of showers through the day, otherwise cloudy and a high in the 80s. I'm John Norton, WCBU News.
Thank you, John. Good job from WCBU. Well, another John is off on assignment. Our good friend John Meisinger is not here this morning, so I have the honor and the pleasure and the privilege of reporting sports, and we're going to start with the NFL football and the Chicago Bears. They played their first preseason exhibition game at Soldier Field yesterday against the Miami Dolphins. Exciting game. Well, I guess if you like games ending in a tie, 24-24. And the Bears had a chance to win the game in the final minutes, but unfortunately they failed to call pass interference against Miami, and as a result the game ended in a tie, 24-24. The biggest highlight of the game, from my perspective, and for the Bears, was a 57-yard field goal by Cairo Santos ending the first half. Caleb Williams, the Chicago Star quarterback, did not play. If you were looking for something to get excited about for the coming regular season, it wasn't there yesterday afternoon.
So I'm assuming that kicker is the starting kicker?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So starting kicker got to play, just none of the other positions.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Wow.
And it was sparsely attended at Soldier Field, empty seats all over the place. So I don't know whether they made any money or what, and you sometimes wonder, why are they doing it? Well, we just start the season. Some other scores of interest from the NFL action: Baltimore 24, Indianapolis 16. Philadelphia over Cincinnati, 34-27. Detroit edged Atlanta, 17-10. Giants beat the Bills, 34-25. Minnesota, the Vikings over Texas, 20-10. And the Cowboys lost to the Rams, 31-21. And in case you missed it, Arizona defeated Kansas City, 2017. And the Green Bay Packers were thumped big time by the New York Jets, 30-10. Now let's go to baseball. The Chicago Cubs struggling offensively, while the Central Division Milwaukee Brewers, there was a time they were the Braves, but not now. The Brewers, they're hotter than 4th of July firecracker going into the action last night in St. Louis against the Cardinals. The Cubs trailing Milwaukee by 5.5 games, make it now 6 games. St. Louis is out of it at 15 games, or 14.5 games, 14. Anyway, the Cubs trailed 2-0 until Matt Shaw for Chicago, the third baseman, hit a 2-run homer. The 4-bagger equaled the homer by Pedro Pajas of St. Louis. The final, St. Louis 3, Chicago 2. Cardinals win 2 of the 3 games played in St. Louis. Some other major league scores of local interest: Houston beat the Yankees 7-1. The White Sox playing much better this season over Cleveland, 6-4. And Milwaukee came from behind. That's why they're leading the division, beating the Mets 7-6. The Phillies over the Rangers 4-2, and Toronto 5, the Dodgers 4. Turning to golf, it was an exciting finish to the FedEx St. Jude Championship in Memphis, Tennessee. Justin Rose defeated J.J. Spahn, winning on the third playoff hole. And it was a tough loss for Tommy Fleetwood. Tommy led most of the way in the tournament until falling behind on the back nine Sunday afternoon. Rose won $3.6 million. Fleetwood finished in a tie for third place, winning $1.16 million. And ladies and gentlemen, that's sports this morning on Breakfast with Roger and Friends, including Terry Chamberlain and Terry Crow.
Hey, Roger.
Ladies and gentlemen. I like that guitar. When do you get that guitar in? I would love to have played the guitar or the piano or the trumpet. Yes.
Didn't somebody recently kick like a 70-some yard field goal? I think I saw.
It happened yesterday.
Was it yesterday?
I think it was yesterday. And they're saying because it was a preseason game.
Yeah, it didn't count.
is not going to count.
Yeah, well, it won't
Yeah.
be because it was a record. It was like 73, 74 yards.
70 something, yeah.
Did you see that, Roger?
I did not. They
Yeah.
said that about Cairo's kick, Santos' kick. They said a 57-yard was a record for him and the Bears, but it would not count. I did not hear about
Somebody
a
kicked it was like 70
70-yard kick.
That's
You have to help me out
That's
on that. That would be
three-quarters of the field.
remarkable.
That's crazy.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
It was the team with purple jerseys.
Jaguars.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, you had it. The Jaguars. Who did the Jaguars play, Roger?
Jaguars kicker
Jacksonville.
Jaguars kicker Cam Little hit 70-yard field goal.
70 yards. Wow.
Yep.
And
That's
it,
unbelievable.
and it had a little room. It didn't just trickle over. He still had probably.
Well, what are
couple
you
more
doing
yards.
watching sports?
I just watched the highlights. I wasn't watching sports. I just saw that it was big news.
A would-be record.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, do you want to do sports from now on?
No,
Okay.
no, I don't like sports. I mean, I don't dislike sports. I just
You're
I was
not
just
a,
never-
you
I
were
was
never a
just- I
child.
was never a sports
Didn't you
guy.
play something?
Yeah.
Oh, it was Saturday night.
No, I played basketball in grade school.
Yeah, because you're
in,
what?
in high school I
6'4"?
moved around too much.
Are you 6'4"?
6'3"?
6'3".
But I wasn't that tall back then. I wasn't.
None of us were. I mean,
I was-
you didn't come out of the womb at 6'3".
No, I'm like 3 times my height when I was born, in my weight. But,
Were you a little fella?
not a little guy, but
You probably wouldn't fit into a tiny home.
no. Where
I
do
sure
you think
like-
they're
no.
going to put those? Are they going to put those out at Expo? Because that, to me, I think would be just.
You know, there
The
are some
ultimate.
things going on in the city. I hate to say this, but we need a little more transparency from city government.
Yeah,
When you're talking about tiny homes, where are you going to build them? Who's going to pay for them? How long are they going to live in the homes? What are they going to do for food, water, lights, electricity? You know, let's get. Come on, City Manager Patrick Urick and Mayor Rita Ali, tell us what you guys are
What do you
talking
plan?
about behind closed doors.
Yeah, it shouldn't be talked about closed doors. It's our money.
Yeah.
It's our city.
You know, one councilman wants to create a village for the homeless. And okay, what's your long-range plan? Short range is get them out of the tent city, and they've done a good job of that. Tip of the hat to them. They say out of all those that have moved, they've been able to place 16 people. I don't know what that means. Does that
what I
mean
heard.
they went to a mental facility? Did they get a job? Are they working, or did you give them a bus ticket to move on to the next city? What's going on? There's more information being withheld than being revealed to the people. The taxpayers are footing the bill. You know, they had all this free money during the pandemic, and
Free money.
they've
What the heck's free money?
well, that's money that they didn't earn from their own tax base in the city of Peoria. After a while, it's like pumping oil. The rig is going to dry up.
Yeah.
And then what are you going to do to perpetuate what you did with the government free money?
Exactly.
There's so many non-answered questions
There are.
that, and if we had a media, you know, unfortunately, with due respect, I've been doing news for over 60 years, and unfortunately, we have, on the good side, it's a good training ground opportunity for young people, but recognize these are young kids for the most part, and they don't have the experience to ask, or the guts to ask challenging questions. Let's talk about, Mr. City Manager, what do you mean by a tiny home? And where are you going to build them? What are you going, where's the revenue going to come for building them? Are there any programs for training to give them jobs? How many have children? Will they have access to our public education system? How about health? Is the city county health department giving you physicals? Are there any medical service? So many questions that need to be answered.
You need to put on your press hat and go to those meetings and ask.
Well, it got trampled the last conference I went to, so I don't have a. But these are all questions that needs
You
media.
taught this, right?
You pardon?
Didn't you used to?
Well, I
teach?
taught radio and television at Illinois Central College, and I like it. You know what they call a part-time teacher? They give it a nice title, adjutant professor.
Adjunct.
Yeah,
Adjunct
yes.
professor.
Any rate, there are a lot of we want to take care of the homeless, and one of the first things some well-meaning people did to uplift the homeless is they now call them unhoused. Now, don't they feel better?
No.
We're no longer hey, honey, we're from Decatur, and in Peoria, the homeless are now unhoused.
Unhoused. So
But they're going to have, but not for long, because we're going to have these little tiny houses.
yeah.
I wonder if they'll have hot and running water
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's
and
gonna work.
electricity, TV, cell phones.
Somebody was talking about putting a little neighborhood or something on the south end, I believe. The city owns a lot of property on the south end. I mean, if you want to build a house on the south end, they'll give you a lot.
They will.
They will give you the lot.
But do they give you guns and ammo?
I don't know. Sometimes I think some areas just have to be left alone for a while. There's just, you can't always develop every area that's cities are big.
And yet at the same time, you want to, all three of us, I believe, are Christians, and you want to help the downtrodden and so forth.
Sure.
But in order to do that constructively, you need a plan. You need programs. You need services. And you need funding to provide all those. And how do you go about doing that? That's the question.
Yeah.
Tim Riggenbach's a nice guy. I knew him years ago when he worked for Associated Bank. And he's one of those that came up with the idea of a village for the homeless.
Yeah. Well,
Build it, and by the way, build it and they will come.
that was Hillary's idea too, wasn't it? We need a village. It takes a village.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Hillary's big?
Take a
I
village to
I
raise a
think that's-
child. Yes.
I think that's true. Hey, I understand Smokey is in the building.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear,
There
and
you
I
go.
made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
See, Smokey thinks I'm funny.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Oh, that's so funny. Hey, we have Kyle Varnum, Mr. Weather, on the line. Good morning, Mr. Weather.
Good morning, Roger and friends. How are we this mostly cloudy, humid, possible storm day?
Oh, great until right then.
Yeah, boy, I was feeling pretty good until I just heard this. But, hey, before you get into the weather, give us your update and overview of A Taste of St. Mark's.
Oh, my goodness, it was hot. Damn hot. Food was hot. Hotter than you felt butter with. So, it was a great event. So grateful. We had some early birds, Miss Chamberlain. We had some late birds, Mr. Growley. But it's okay. We're very, very grateful for all that came out. We always have an issue, and we're just trying to figure this out. So one of our food vendors, they do a great job, but they got set up a little late, and then we were told, and when I say we, as an organizer of it, we told vendors, do not serve until Father gives a blessing. Well, some people either got antsy with one of the food vendors or something of the matter, and they started serving before they were supposed to, and it was a bit of a confusion, it was a bit of a headache, and God's grace be what it is, but they also need to be respectful that we are a parish function, and we like to start our meals with a blessing. So that was the biggest headache of the night.
Did the people who had that thing get sick, or?
No.
Okay, good.
We prayed for
So
it,
it all
but
worked
it
out,
hasn't
okay.
happened yet.
Well, not everybody knows
We prayed.
everybody's tradition or deals, so you gotta, I mean, I think that's a minor issue. It was a fun.
It is.
It was a fun
It
day.
was a great time.
Well, what kind of a turnout did you have compared to last year?
It was very good. It was a little down. We think the heat was one of the main culprits of that. Because it was very, very warm. But we were above on beer sales, so the heat also was a culprit of that.
Yes.
Well,
we went. We went to 2.5 kegs of beer. So yeah.
Yeah, I know your beer tent guys did a good job. Charlie Roy.
Oh, they do a great job.
And Matt Black.
Oh, Charlie and Sean. Sean Payne, Matt. Oh, yeah, they're wonderful, wonderful bartenders. So Charlie and Sean, they are the main bartenders at St. Bridget Fest in February, and they just are phenomenal. And one of our vendors, Blue Margaritas, they gave us the Blue Margaritas to serve, but they dropped it off and it wasn't pre-mixed. So my bartenders are used to just going to a cup to the keg and pouring it. And pouring out a bottle if it's a certain type of drink or handing a can to someone. Well, we were actually making blue margaritas as well at our bar. So a lot of extra work, but it's fine.
You know who I noticed?
It all worked out. Praise God.
You know who I noticed had a lot of food there was the street taco people. Because Terry said that they were almost out, and then I got there late, and they were full. They had a huge tray of the chicken and the beef, and that was really nice. They really
they did a good job.
What family was that did that? Because they donated a lot.
So they do. That's the Quezadas and then the Diaz family.
Okay.
And they're two great families at St. Mark's. They always do the street tacos, and every year they run out, and we always say, hey, for that particular family, we cover the food costs. Now, they give their time and energy, and they do a wonderful job because they have one of the longest lines.
I was going to say, you should help them out.
Yeah.
And surprising to me, I didn't know what a street taco was. I thought they actually made it on the street, where it was really hot, like you could, cook an egg on the street. And so I was surprised they actually used a stove, which was a lot better.
Yes.
I'm sure it tasted better.
Yeah, we have Blackstones. We have Blackstones for that.
Yeah,
now.
that worked very well.
Well, overall, were you happy with the results?
Yes, no, we're very happy. We're still going through the numbers, which is funny because before I called you, there's a text chain going on right now because one of the money boxes, we'll find it, I'm sure, but we can't find it. It's like, this is a problem. So,
was it one of those little gray boxes? Was it one of those little gray boxes with the handle on top?
Yeah, that you took home?
Yeah, doggone it.
It's a green box.
Okay, all right. I'll be by later today.
Yeah. Now, as a result of this year's gathering, can we look forward to prices being higher next year?
Oh, I pray to God we can. But that's the thing. So my wife, who is one of my biggest supporters and defenders, she actually is defending the $15 a person price because she's like, well, let's be honest, your kids, your son had 2 hot dogs and your daughter had some corn on the top and a cup of like coconut ice or something of that nature.
Yeah, the
with like green mint flavor.
Yeah, that was very good.
Yeah, did you have that?
Yes, I had some of that
too. She loved it too. Yep, the coconut ice. And so Kendra's like, so honestly, $15 is high for a kid when you factor, but I'm like, well, it's $40 a family. And she's like, I get that, but, if you start charging $20 a person, they're like, but my kid only eats, a hot dog.
Well, that's not...
help offset the ban.
I think Kendra has something there. I think she's got a leg to stand on.
I paid 20. I paid 20.
Well, you're loaded, but not everybody's loaded.
I laughed.
You also have a lot of money.
I laughed. Mr. Grau, he personally handed me the $20 because when he got there, the front gate had already closed up shop. Yeah. They weren't taking money anymore. But he handed me $20, and I laughed because he knows for the last 6 weeks I've been ranting and raving how we're underselling the festival. and I need $20 a person. And he actually gave me 20. I asked him if he needed change.
You put him
And he
on a
laughed.
guilt
There
trip.
was no way I was going to take $5 back from him after listening to him bitch about it for 2 weeks.
Well, that's 6 weeks. Okay.
Whining,
That's right.
ranting does get you success.
Hey, that $5, he earned that $5 all the complaining he did.
Oh, the
And I
moaning,
went and took
groaning.
it to the bar, and I spent it. No, I'm kidding.
Hey,
No, I took it out of the
how much
tax
rain are
box.
we getting? How much rain are we going to get today? I've got 30%
Oh, I'm
chance.
so glad we're
so-
talking about it. Yeah, so I think, no, I'm glad you brought it up because I think our rain chances actually are contingent on a system that's trying to develop in northeast Missouri, at least during the day. And that, I think, is going to stay south of us. I don't think we're going to see any precipitation activity off that. What I am looking for is our rain chances to increase significantly with the system coming through later tonight. So I think we stay dry and mostly cloudy for the majority for today, but tonight we'll see the thunderstorms return.
Okay. Low about 72
And
tonight.
that's my forecast. Yeah, actually, with the humidity and then before the cold front gets here, I think the low in the upper 60s, low 70s. We will have rain cool down when those storms come through, and don't be surprised if we see some gusty winds with those storms as well. Potentially some heavy rainfall too, because we are looking at a potential training pattern with these storms, particularly in the Illinois River Valley when we look west of I-55. So that's another concern, because I don't know, for those of you that live in Peoria and those of you that live in Morton and Washington, it's like 6 degrees of separation when you talk about weather yesterday morning, because you had some pretty heavy thunderstorms in Peoria, which I drove through on the way to St. Mark's. That's a mass. Whereas in Washington, we got 4/10 of an inch. We didn't get the heavy rain you guys
So
got.
tomorrow we've got rain and sunshine, which I guess is means we're going to have a rainbow. But high about 85 tomorrow. Is that accurate?
Yeah,
Pretty good.
I think the mid-80s for sure, because the humidity is really going to start creeping in. So we have two systems really coming into play. We have a cold front coming in tomorrow morning that'll bring what's left of the thunderstorm activity. If it doesn't happen tonight, it'll happen tomorrow morning, and then that clears out. And then we have a warm front coming in on Wednesday, which we could see some thunderstorms embedded along it, particularly overnight Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. But then we warm back up, and we're in the 90s for this coming weekend. So the dog days of summer certainly continue.
What is that? Okay. So in the 90s this coming weekend again.
Again,
Wow.
yep.
But you're saying rain maybe on Wednesday and Thursday too, huh?
Well, not Thursday, but Wednesday, particularly Wednesday morning in the overnight hours, and they would be associated with that warm frontal boundary moving in, which we expect to move through early morning on Wednesday. But I think our best chances are tonight and then tomorrow morning.
Okay.
We'll see our best chance with storms.
Well, with
along
this
that
rain
cold
and this
frontal boundary.
with this rain and this humidity, the corn's doing probably pretty good.
Oh, corn's doing great. Corn's looking amazing. The beans are actually looking in much better shape, which I was very concerned a month ago. And I was like saying, I'm calling a drought. But the good Lord bless us. We've had some timely rains, and we've had some sufficient and ample rainfall. Not Wauwatosa, Wisconsin levels, but still, thank God for that. Still decent and timely rains. And yeah, now we could see, as I'm driving to our new breakfast place for the week, Le Peep, I am seeing some dark clouds on the western skies. So that's that storms that are coming out of northeast Missouri. I just think they stay south of town. But I might be eating delicious crow for breakfast here in a half hour. It might be pouring down rain by the time we get out of breakfast. But that's the new breakfast place for now, because that's what the guys voted on. So
Well, that's a little bit of a drive for you.
It is a bit of a drive. It's much further up University than I thought. As I'm driving up University, I'm like, how far out is Le Peep?
It's almost like Pioneer Parkway, yeah.
Well, you're exactly right.
7100 block of University, and it's far from the office. So
It's not far from the S&S Supper Club that closed on University.
Yeah, I was born in '82. I have no idea what you're talking about.
the Steak and Shake.
You'll see an empty shell of a Steak and Shake building.
I wonder what that was. That's the
yes.
supper club.
Yes. Now that was that was the Steak and Shake where late night activities took place, if I remember right. So I'm sorry, but if you're going to have that kind of activity at Steak and Shake, well, you deserve to be closed.
No,
I don't know what
that.
you're talking about.
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't either. What are you talking about?
No, I'm very serious.
That used to be our go-to place after when we left Chantilly Lace and we'd
Yeah.
come down to Steak and
Yeah,
Shake.
Steak and Shake. It was a
You
nice.
guys didn't hear about this.
No.
Right before it closed, this was all over Facebook. People were dining there in the late night hours, and one of the kitchen staff and one of the waitresses were engaged in relations back in the kitchen, and apparently it was so audible, all the patrons of the restaurant are like, they're doing what we think they're doing back there. And when it was, yeah, a couple months later, I know, right? Check those milkshakes. A couple months later, they're closed. Very close.
That would explain a lot.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I never heard that story.
I never heard that story. But see, he lives in Washington.
Wow.
They make up stories about Peoria.
They do. They don't like this.
I assure you, it wasn't made up. I heard a lot of people that it commented for.
Well, because remember, they never closed. They were open 24 hours. So
Yeah. What do you expect men and women to do after midnight? Make milkshakes?
Well,
Inside it must be right.
And not have their.
Okay.
Yeah, never mind.
Alrighty.
I'm glad we had this talk.
Well, I'm not so sure.
So thankful.
Well, thanks, Kyle.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that.
Thanks for sharing that story.
No, you're doing it all wrong.
Well, he claims
But
he's.
the Steak and Shake. Hang on, the Steak and Shake on University is back open though. Did you guys know that?
Whereabouts on you? You mean 3300 block or 3000 block?
Yeah, the 3300 block.
Yeah, that one's open. Yeah, but no, the one there on North University is all closed up.
Closed for a long time.
That one closed, and the one at Grand Prairie closed.
Oh, I didn't know that one was.
I didn't know that one had closed. The East Peoria one that we called the SNS Supper Club, I think that's still open, isn't it? In East Peoria?
That's the one at SNS. My dad used to call that the porcelain room in the river because they had the tile
did.
there.
It was very nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Inside
No,
it
it
must
has
be
great
right.
views.
And Steak and Shake in Morton is open. It's all by kiosk now. When you come in, you order.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my. Well, that's the new wave.
Well, it's been very uplifting in the food service business. I know you're on the way to La Peep, and food is great there.
It is very good.
Very good. I don't know. How many people in your
How many?
Well, we're down to 4, but it's. I'm grateful for the 4 we have. So I joined this group in 2011, and there's 7 of us.
And since you joined, it's now down to 4. That ought to tell you something.
Yeah.
You might try.
Really good.
You might try shorter prayers.
No. Unfortunately, the good Lord called him home.
I see. Well, that's
Connor,
well, you need to recruit some new members.
Well, we try, but the thing is, Curcio just doesn't have the spark it used to.
No, it does
And
not.
When I try to recruit new members, they are all AARP card carriers, and I'm trying to get young guys to do Curcio, and it's just
What was your Curcio? What was your number? What number Curcio did you go to?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. It was 993.
Wow, I did 234. It's a long time ago.
The Catholic Hour is brought to you this morning by
that's not
Ripple Wine Incorporated.
That's non-denominational. The
Curcio is?
Yes, it is.
Yes, you could be any. Yes, because I went. And I'm Lutheran.
You went, and you're Lutheran. Is that? I don't want to get into the difference between Lutherans and Catholics.
No, it's not.
No.
Well, you guys.
I don't know the difference.
You guys have
I don't care. There's no difference.
You have a
No,
wonderful
it is
day.
We all believe the same thing.
Via de Cristo is what the Lutheran
Exactly.
version came to be.
Yes,
But
sir.
it was much
Via de
later.
Cristo. You're correct. Yep.
Is that where they get the Cristo sandwich?
Yes, the Monte Cristo
The Monte-
sandwich.
no.
That's exactly where it started, in church.
Yeah. Kyle,
Anyway.
this has been wonderful talking with you, my friend. When
Always
can we
a pleasure,
expect
guys.
the
You
first
take care.
shower?
Thank you.
When can we expect the
God,
first
take care.
shower?
I would say after 8:30 tonight, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much.
And it won't be a shower, it'll be a thunderstorm.
All right.
Okay.
That is the difference.
All right.
Will there be a rainbow we can see?
Yeah.
Not after 8:30.
See a rainbow
Not
tomorrow?
at 8:30 at night, Mr. Monroe. Maybe tomorrow morning you might see a
Tomorrow
rainbow.
morning you might see a rainbow.
I saw a rainbow. There was a lovely rainbow last night when I looked over by from Washington, looking over towards Deer Creek area, because there was a pretty heavy storm came through Morton. Well, right about 6:30, 7 o'clock last night.
Yeah.
And we could watch it coming across, because my window's on the south side of the house. That's where Washington. It looks out to Washington Park, but we can see a good horizon, and I can see the storms move across to the south pretty prevalently. So it's pretty awesome.
All right, and you're awesome and you're reporting. It's always a pleasure listening to Mr. Weather.
God bless you, my friend. Thank
God
you so
bless
much
you.
for supporting St. Mark's. Thank you to you all that came out and supported us. We're hoping for cooler weather next year. But one more event coming up, friends, if I just real quick. The Peoria Irish Fest is next weekend, so August 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and we're looking at absolutely phenomenal weather, so we hope you can make it out.
And some
to the
good
Peoria
music.
Riverfront,
Some good
August
music.
23rd. Oh, amazing music, so many bands, so many headliners, Red Hot Chili Peppers, the Kilkennys, the Byrne Brothers, lots of international acts. 3 of them are from Ireland, and then there's some local artists and some Midwest artists as well. So it's going to be a great, great time on the Peoria Riverfront, August 22nd and 23rd and 24th.
I'll iron my kilt and...
Are the Cider Boys coming down from Stevens Point?
The Cider Boys are. They're one of our premier sponsors. I landed that contract last year. And you will have plenty of Cider Boys to drink. And Brian and Stephen will be making their way down. So
Awesome. Look forward to it.
I'll wax up the shillelagh stick, and that's great.
All right, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. God bless. Have a great day.
See ya.
Kyle Varnold and the Breakfast Sparrow Group meeting at La Peep this morning. And a final newscast this morning, the most comprehensive news in Peoria radio right here on WAZU FM 90.7. More news, more often, brought to you by your hometown community banks division of Merton Community Bank. Employee-owned, locally operated. You can still choose a hometown bank at hometownbanks.com. Member FDIC. And here's Terry Lynn.
After ending the decades-long war between Armenia and Azerbaijan, President Trump will meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin this Friday in the hopes of reaching a peaceful settlement between Ukraine and Russia. The location has not yet been revealed for security reasons. Meanwhile, Russia launched several missile attacks into Ukraine, which injured 12 people. No, just rotten Putin. A Russian source has suggested there are certain individuals and NATO countries seeking to torpedo the Trump-Putin summit. Arizona Democrat Senator Mark Kelly is the first to criticize the peace attempt by Trump. He called Putin a war criminal who should not be allowed in the United States. The president will hold a news conference this morning to talk about fighting crime with federal resources in the nation's capital. Though crime statistics indicate crime is down in the city, some recent high-profile news stories have caught Trump's attention. He wants the city to be safe, especially at night. The president also remains critical of the Federal Reserve's decision to spend $3.1 billion to renovate its home office building. As usual, he'll field questions from the media.
And you notice he's waiting until our show is over before he has the news conference.
Yes, I appreciate that.
When the show's over and at 9 o'clock, the president will come out, and we thank him because he enjoys our show.
Well, it's in our
Thank
contract.
you, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much, Donald.
Democrat federal judge James Boasberg was reversed by an appeals court for his contempt of court ruling against President Trump. Boasberg, who's made no secret of his contempt for Trump, ruled last April that the Trump administration was in contempt of his order to halt deportation of illegal and criminal immigrants to El Salvador prisons. The D.C. Court of Appeals said Boasberg exceeded his authority. Police in Gibson City, Illinois are searching for a 70-year-old man who shot 2 law enforcement officers early Saturday morning at his home. The gunman, David Jordan, opened fire on officers as they were investigating a report that a man, Jordan, was walking around naked at 2:30 in the morning. A Gibson City officer and a Ford County deputy sheriff were wounded, but not seriously, said officials. Jordan allegedly set fire to his house before he took off. He remains at large. Peoria firefighters were called to a fire early Saturday morning in the 800 block of South Warren Street. The blaze, they said, was intentionally started on the second floor of a 2-story vacant house. Damage estimated at $70,000. An apparent domestic dispute in rural Washburn, Illinois, ended with a man in critical condition and a woman under treatment for serious gunshot wounds. Police say the man shot himself, with indications he did so after shooting his girlfriend. And we extend our congratulations to Halston Williams of the Center for Prevention of Abuse. The Illinois Department of Aging has named Williams Adult Protective Services Advocate of the Year, which is a really big deal.
Yes, it is.
So congratulations, Halston.
Yes. Okay.
And those are the headlines, Roger.
All right, now let's check with the weather, brought to you by Matt Wall, CPA with Gordon Stockman Wall for more than 40 years. Matt has been handling tax returns and other financial matters for individuals and businesses. This phone number, 309-692-4030. Now with the weather.
Mostly cloudy today, showers and thunderstorms a little bit later on tonight. 85 for a high today, 72 tonight. Tomorrow, more rain along with a little bit of sunshine, high 85. Wednesday, maybe rain by Wednesday. Right now, it's 73 at the Wazoo.
72 or 73? What do you have?
Oh, whatever. It depends on where you're driving and what your car says. Okay. I'm going to say 73-ish.
All right. How about our pet tip of the hour?
Today's pet tip is brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles and of course cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little-known, somewhat amazing facts about your pet. When you come home and find evidence of something chewed or destroyed by your pet, some trainers say you can try disciplining after the fact if you have the proof. But you must not react to the proof until you get the dog to the damage. In other words, don't explode into the house and scream and whine at your dog. The dog will simply run away and you will think you have corrected the problem. You have not. Instead, say nothing, go calmly to the dog and bring him to the damage. Show the dog the proof and in a low growling voice with few words, let him know that this is not acceptable, such as, "Bad boy, grrr." Then release him and do not pet, coo, or give attention to him for 3 minutes, but no longer. You are imitating the actions of a mother dog, and your pup should quickly and easily understand this sound and action. When you are cleaning up the mess, do not let your dog see you doing so. Your body language will look submissive to the dog as you kneel and scrape or scrub, and that won't win you any brownie points in the dog's eyes. Remember, keep your cool when disciplining. No screaming, no hysterics. This is correction time, and your growling should last no more than 3 seconds. So the next time your pup presents you with a problem, try this and see how it works for both of you. This whisker of information has been made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting in partnership with Spot, Saving Pets One at a Time, and KSBR Studios. Produced by Joseph C. McGuire and theme music by Stuardo Glasser.
Today's pet tip has been brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Oh, I just love the pet tip of the day. Thank you, Louis Linder. get up and move around, get some exercise. We've got the
Virginia,
Breakfast with Roger band.
Virginia teaches Zumba class, so she can come in here and give us a couple Zumba moves.
Who's
Virginia
that?
does.
Virginia does?
really?
Yeah.
We call this the cell phone shuffle. Hey, speaking of cell phone, what's the story? You've got a story, or WCBU has a story about high school kids and cell phones.
It's Washington Community
See,
High
I
School.
said that. You guys said
You
no,
did.
it's District 1. I said no, it's Washington.
You're right. It's Washington.
Thank you very much. I
Can
need
never used by
oxygen now.
students only for instruction and only with the teacher's permission. What can they use them for instruction for?
That's
Well, what are they
stupid.
going to?
I don't think they need phones. in
Instruction
school.
is put your phone down.
I wouldn't allow it. Why
We got along just fine back in the
How
dark.
did we get along
the
without
dark
phones?
ages?
I don't know.
Yeah.
When we were growing up. I know, Terry, you were very adamant off the air, and you turned into be a marshmallow now that we have the live microphones, but you said they don't need their cell phones, period.
Oh, I did? Yeah, I said that.
Yes,
yeah,
you did.
we both
well,
said that.
Well,
Well, you want me to yell
but-
now? We're on
yes,
the air. I don't-
yes.
I don't mind yelling at you guys when we're off the air, but
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want anybody to
I've
think I'm a
noticed
jerk.
I know. I've noticed a different tone, and it's like, hello there.
hi, how is everybody? Off the air, it's like, shut up!
Yeah.
Oh, no, come on, I'm a nice guy.
Yes, you are.
Most-
You
some
are a
of the
nice
time.
guy.
Some of the
You were big in real estate, were you not?
Well, I don't know, big.
I have somebody who's looking for some warehouse space. What would you recommend for them?
There's a lot of warehouse space around town.
That's what I was telling them. Like, you got any on the air suggestions?
I don't. No, because I don't deal in real estate.
Well, you did at one time.
I did quite a bit. Yeah, for one time I did, but not anymore. I don't deal with any. I don't have any other real estate. Not in town.
So you don't have any recommendations?
Oh, as far as warehouse space, I don't.
Gee whiz. So
I
I
don't-
told
I
him,
don't-
I
I
said,
don't
I
do
made a
it
point. I said, tune in Monday because I will ask
I'm sorry.
Terry because.
Well, if I would have known, I would have prepared for that. But you didn't come to the meeting.
Gee whiz. And you know, actually, because I thought you would be helpful to them because they're listening this morning.
Okay.
I'm going to reward him because Terry likes rainbows.
I love
And
rainbows.
You've
Well, of
talked
course.
about it.
Who doesn't like a rainbow? I love rainbows.
And
they're peaceful.
then you'll like this version. Remember Izzy?
Oh, I do.
Yeah, I like this version.
I
This
love
song
this
was
song.
played at
This
my,
is for everybody who loves
when I danced
rainbows.
with my daughter.
This is Izzy. Poor fella's passed away, but
What's his
we're left with his beautiful rendition.
What's his last name, Roger? I danced to this song. with
Never
my
thought
daughter.
this guy would have such a beautiful voice. Izzy, you're on the air.
Trouble melts like lemon drops high above the chimney top. That's where you find up, that's where you find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. The dreams that you did too, why, oh, why can't
What was the story on all the noise and the cheering and so forth? Why do you think they added that to the song?
That was his funeral.
They were spreading his ashes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
I
cremated.
did not know
They
that.
went out on the catamarans and they spread his
10,000
ashes.
people attended that funeral.
My goodness, how old was the fella?
38.
Oh, way
How much
too
did he
young.
weigh?
He
Speaking
weighed
of weight?
1,000 pounds at the time of his death.
It's, oh my goodness.
Say his last name.
I can't. He went by the name of Izzy, and that's I go with that. So you
Kamakawiwo'uli.
say that again.
I can't.
Yeah.
That was
He's been
painful.
practicing that.
You know, that's interesting because we've been playing the song. It is a video, and I was wondering what's on. And I'd never heard that story. No one ever told me that. That's the first time I learned. That was all about the funeral. You said 10,000 people.
10,000
No,
people
no.
attended.
Well, yeah, 10,000 people attended.
Attended, yeah.
And he weighed 1,000 pounds.
And he weighed 1,000 pounds when he passed.
Hmm. Did they?
That's why they
Did
were
he?
floating.
Did he? Was it a cardiovascular event that took his life? What?
Well,
exactly?
respiratory failure. Because
Yeah,
and
well,
it just
probably
it
the
was
heart
hard for him to
couldn't do the
breathe,
job.
and hard on his
Yeah.
heart and
Fought
his lungs.
obesity his entire life.
Yep.
Well, obviously, he didn't do a very good fight.
pictures there, he's probably
38 years of age. That is way too young. Now, well, we won't get into it. Just how long ago was this?
1997.
Oh, a long time ago, yeah. Well, you can't be. It's a beautiful song, "Over the Rainbow." Many others. Who was the female singer that probably was most noted for that
Judy
song?
Garland.
Who?
Judy Garland.
Right.
From
correct.
Wizard of Oz.
I told you that I saw her perform in London.
Oh, you did?
And yes. Mhm.
Wow.
And interesting. A woman sitting next to me was obviously everybody in the audience was English except for me, and it was an afternoon and matinee performance, and she was not hitting her high notes, and she explained after not doing well on a song, it might have been Over the Rainbow. And she apologized, said, I've had a bad cold. And the woman next to me said, bad cold, my, blankety blank, you've had too much to drink.
Oh, she's a drinker.
Yeah. Apparently, I don't know. Maybe on that day.
How many times do you think she had to sing that song? Probably hated it. But
Yep, ad nauseum, as they say.
I'm sure she sang that thousands of times. She probably hated that song.
Well, isn't that true of a lot of artists?
Oh, yeah.
How many times was Elton John asked to sing this song or that song, or the Beatles, because that's or Tony Bennett. I left my heart in San Francisco to go to Creve Coeur. I mean, it was a beautiful song.
Well, even Mickey Nelson wrote a song about it, remember? Garden Party.
That's
He
right.
said everybody expected him to play his hits, and he wanted to branch out and play some new music, but everybody, when he had these concerts and shows, everybody wanted to hear the old hits, the old music.
Well, that's why they came to the concert, for that matter.
That's true.
Hey, we're out of here. Thanks for being a part of our program, and we'll try to do it again tomorrow. And, of course, Mike Olson will be here, and also our good friend Terry Chamberlain, and who else on Tuesdays? So whoever we can pay off to come in. Yeah, we'll work on that.
That's pretty much it.
And heed the words of our weather guy. Rain not until about 8:30 tonight,
8:30
as I remember. Right. In the meantime, have a great day, everybody, and remember God loves you, and so do we. And I might be able, if I remember, to play Wanda Mountain Boys, and a great tribute to those who have their names on the memorial walls in Washington, D.C. and across the country, including downtown Peoria. By the way, have you seen, they're really busy working on the Peoria County Courthouse building and grounds. Very, very busy. Anyway, have a great day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for listening and watching.